Welcome to the grand finale of our Pan-African webinar January episode. How are you today? I hope you're happy to be here, as I'm happy to host you on behalf of my team. So good evening. It's official. We're wrapping up today on the 3 days of our Pan-African webinar for January. And this session is currently being live streamed on YouTube. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have the privilege of joining us on YouTube on the link posted in the chat room. Day 3 is live on YouTube via this link. So you can join us as soon as you can on YouTube. In case you are kicked out of Zoom, because today, I tell you, we're going to max this room today. And just in case you can't get access to the room, please remember to save that link so you can join on YouTube. I'm very happy tonight. I'm very proud of what we've achieved over the weekend. It's been back to back on a roll since Friday night. And so if you've not been here since Friday, please just know that you missed a lot. But you didn't miss too much if you can catch up on YouTube. So my team will post day one's link on YouTube and day two link on YouTube so that you can go and take your time much later to watch day one and day two. What are we here for? The Pan-African webinar is a platform of SECA Africa. And in 2024, all the speakers are members of the Octopus Speakers Pool. The Octopus Speakers Pool, OSP, is a platform where professionals, experts, business owners, thought leaders come together to build capacity for training, for speaking, for coaching, for helping people move from point A to point B. Every speaker on this call is doing something in their life, something powerful, something tangible, something that is visionary. And we bring them on this platform every month so that they can inspire, they can share their stories, they can guide other people to move forward. And it is such a delightsome platform. Since Friday, we started off Friday night, the whole of yesterday, we were on this call. And yes, Friday was mind-blowing. Yesterday was about finance. Most of the speakers were speaking around the subject of investment and finance and financial intelligence and mental health around finance. And then the last speaker last night wrapped up around organizing yourselves for creativity and innovation. On Friday, we talked about public speaking. One speaker talked about public speaking. Another speaker talked about having an efficiency system. Then the third speaker on Friday blew our mind. She talked about children and how parents and adults misunderstand children. That was a very emotional evening for all of us. And we went to bed sulking and weeping and sobbing and reflecting and oh my goodness. And yesterday, we just went off on the tangent of finance. Today, we're hosting three very special women who are major into, one is into production, one is into people building, one is a crowdfunding expert, a grief expert, and someone that has worked with so many coaches. In fact, she is the current governor of the life coaches at SECA Africa. So this evening, we have a very short set of speakers, but very powerful set of speakers. And I feel very delighted to be hosting this event. Don't forget, this event is being live streamed on YouTube. And when this room gets filled up, don't panic, just go on YouTube. That is why you should save the number now, save the link now, so that when it fills up, you can have access to it on YouTube. I would like us to meet you. We're going to do two quick things before I bring up our first speaker, who is Ready to go. So, but let's do two quick things. Let us meet you. I want to know where you're joining from. Write in the chat room, where are you joining from? Your name and where you're joining from. I'm joining from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Let's use the chat room, everyone. Make sure your microphone is mute. Make sure your microphone is mute. How now? Thank you. Please, everyone, check your microphone is mute. Thank you. So I'm getting to read from the chat room. Okay, I see you. Maria says from Abuja. Hawau says from Kaduna. Zainab is joining from Kaduna. Chibuzo is from Abuja. Okereke is from Lagos. Favor Mesamari is from Kaduna, joining from Kaduna. These Kaduna people have decided to gang up today. That's so good to see. Ruth is joining from Abuja. Stella, of course, our Chief Operating Officer is in Abuja. Jidda is in Jos. Daibatu joining from Abuja. Zainab Kankara from Abuja. Samira, Coach Samira is, of course, in Abuja. Ogboshi Paul is joining from Abuja. Fatima from Abuja. Rashida from Kaduna. Sensei Femi Johnson is joining from Canada. Great, great. Fatima says, I'm joining from Atlanta, but I'm based in Abuja. Good to have you join us from Atlanta. Ovosa is in Abuja. Ray Davis, Abuja. Godia, that should be you. Then Saadatu from Katsina. Saadatu, kindly rename your device. When I see Zoom user, I actually don't admit Zoom user because we have been hacked many times by Zoom user. So I'm sure it's my staff that allowed you in. If not, I would have not allowed you and it will not be fair on you. So please rename your device. It will be nice to have your name on your device. And so many people also joining. I can see Kano, I can see Niger, I can see Kaduna, Abuja, I can see Sokoto. Whoa, nice one. Jam from Jos. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for finding the time to join us tonight on the Pan-African webinar by Seka Africa. On Friday night, somebody won 5,000 Naira only from us. We did a short competition and the person won 5,000 Naira. Yesterday, somebody also won 5,000 Naira from us. We did a short competition and the person won 5,000 Naira. I would like to give somebody 5,000 Naira before our speaker starts. So, we're going to do something slightly interesting. We did a contest on Friday, and that was what the person used to win the 5K. So I'm going to repeat that contest today. So I want 5 people to volunteer and come on camera. 5 people. I want you to volunteer and come on camera. Your camera has to be on. Okay, somebody's camera is on, but it's in the dark. I won't count that as on. Your camera has to be on and I can see you. 5 people volunteer. Ruth, you are automatically disqualified. Put off your camera. You can only put on your camera to observe, but you are not contesting. Okay, so I'm going to post our IG link. I want to encourage all of you to please follow our Instagram. We'll be happy to have you follow us on Instagram. So I have you on camera now. I can see my boy, Manji. Good to see you, darling. So all of you are on camera now. When I'm going to mention 5 items. 5 items. I will mention them one after the other. Your job is to show me the item on camera. I will mention it. You will look for it and show me the item on camera. The first person to show me on camera is the person I will count. I need somebody as my backup. So Ruth, because you are the winner on Friday, you are going to be my backup observer. In case, because on Friday, there was a moment when my camera froze. you'll be the one to help me confirm that the first person I think is the first person that showed the item on the camera. Ruth, is that okay?
Okay, sir.
I don't give you work now since you know Kukuma eligible. Fantastic. So I'm going to call 5 items one after the other. You will show me the first one. I will call the second one. You will show me the second one. And we'll go that way. We'll quickly do that. Then we'll pick a winner who has 5,000 naira. Then our speaker will come on to speak. The first thing I want you to show me. First item. Show me a spoon. Is a spoon. Show me a spoon. Okay, Jidda has a spoon. Jidda has a spoon. Oh my God, Manji has a spoon too. Jidda, Ruth, who came first? I think Jidda showed me the spoon first.
I think I saw Rashida.
Where's Rashida? I didn't see Rashida.
Rashida Abdulkadir.
Okay, I'll go with Jidda though. I'll go with Jidda. Jidda is the first person I noticed. So Jidda has the first item. Let's go to the second item. The second item I want you to show me is a palm sandal, not a bathroom slippers. Palm sandal. Jidda again. Oh, wait, seriously? Okay. Nice one. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. So far, I hope, so far I have Jidda on the first 2 items. I'm going to go to the third item. The third item, I want you to show me a remote control. Okay, Fatima is the first person that showed me remote control. But wait. This boy is very fast, though. Manji is very fast. I'm going to do cheating very soon. So I have Jidda on 2 items, Fatima on 1 item. But honestly, Manji has been showing up on all of them almost instantly. Jam, you came late. So let's go to the 4th item. The 4th item that I want you to show me is a body cream container. Show me body cream. Okay, Fatima showed before Jidda. Fatima, and then Boo Boo. Oh my God. Wallahi, Boo Boo, you're making it so hard for me, this boy. Interesting. So I'm currently on 2-2. I have Fatima on 2 items. I have Jidda on 2 items. I now need a tiebreaker. So I'm going to the last item, and hopefully there will be a tiebreaker on this one. The 5th item I want you to show me. The 5th item that I want you to show me is a non-smartphone. Non-smartphone. A phone that is not smart. A phone that is not a smartphone. This one, a Haduna. Nobody is showing that one yet. Seriously? Okay, I see Jam has one. Jam, this phone, what's this your phone? Are you sure it's not a smartphone? Kai, bros. It's not a smartphone. So Jam is the one that showed. Jam has a non-smartphone. Now, wow, these are so crazy. Nobody has a non-smartphone. Very interesting. So we have a tie. Rashida showed a non-smartphone, but she came quite later than Jam. Okay, I need a tiebreaker. So I'm going to say one last item just because I need to break a tie between Jidda and Fatima. So I want you to show me 1,000 naira bill with the faces of the people on the bill. 1,000 naira bill with showing the face of the people on the bill. 1,000 naira bill. Showing the face of the people on the bill. 1,000 naira bill. Una know they carry cash again. Bubu got this one. Manji got this one. Manji got this one. Oh, wow. Nice one. Okay, so we didn't have a winner. Well, Jida came a bit late, but you didn't come first. So we didn't get a winner. Edward says, I have pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go straight into our first talk for tonight. We have a tie. So I'm going to move the contest to the end of the event. Hopefully I don't forget. I have a tie between Jida and Fatima. So at the end of the event, only Jida and Fatima will participate in the contest. We will share 3 items, and among the 2 of them, whoever shows 2 of the 3 items is going to win the 5,000 naira. So Jida and Fatima Ahmed, make sure you don't leave till the end of the event. And in case I forget, it's okay for either of you to remind me. Our first speaker tonight, we call her the Queen of the North. She operates a big brand. She calls it the most loved brand in the North, the most loved scent brand in the North. And she's such a very focused, dogged person. She does her work squarely. Her work ethics, very, very admirable. She puts her mouth where her money is, and she's able to account for her time. And she's in such a short time I've met her, she has demonstrated a high sense of responsibility and quality. And it is such a delight that she's joined to speak in the January episode of the Pan-African webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, we call her Ray. Meet founder CEO Turare Muta by Ray TBR. Hi, boss. You have the floor.
Hello, boss. Good evening.
Good evening and welcome.
Thank you, boss. Well, my name is Rahanatu Ahmed, and I am the founder of Turare Muta by Ray. Well, I am popularly known as Ray. They call me Ray based on the, yeah. I have not prepared a presentation, so I won't be sharing my screen with you. I am just going to talk, and I hope that you are going to gather all the lessons from what I am going to say. I think I have a very poor reception here. Can you all hear me?
Can hear you, and you're clear.
You can hear me, but can the rest hear me?
We can hear you,
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me, Ray?
Fantastic. Okay, well, this is a little bit of my story. And I want to talk about my story today because dealing with so many people, so many business owners and aspiring business owners, I realized that we don't say this enough. People think that it's easy, or, we had it easy or something, but business is a struggle. It has always been a struggle. It will always be a struggle. So this is my story. I started Turare Muta by Ray, believe it or not, without a capital. Yes, without a capital. I've been job hunting for 5 years. I had my master's and everything, but Nigeria, there is no job. I kept pushing. I've attended interviews. I got rejected, thank God, because sometimes I think if they had given me that job, what would I be doing today? Maybe I would still be paid 75,000 naira per month. Well, life happened, and then one day, it was just coincidence. Actually, I was thinking, and every time that they tell me you should try business, I always reject the idea. Me, I'm not into business. I just want to collect salary. I am not a business person. How would I sell something? I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. I am sure some of you here have this seem fair? How am I going to sell something? Will people buy? I had doubts. So I kept pushing down the idea of starting any business. But then when something happened, I had just given birth to my son. And well, naturally, I'm always a workaholic. I love to work. Like right from home, if I can tell them I will cook to rest and I will enter the kitchen and be cooking. I love to work. So after I gave birth to my son, I realized that there was nothing that is keeping me occupied. You know, when babies at that early stage, and he was adorable. He doesn't cry, he doesn't do much, you know? So it was just me staring at the baby and doing nothing. I said, this is how my head is going to come and die. So one day I was speaking to my sister, and she was like, we were talking about Turarunta, and I told her that since I got pregnant, I don't like the scent of Turarunta anymore. And we're just talking. And after that call, something hit me. If there is one thing that I have ever loved in my life, like right before I got married, even as a teenager, it was that incense. I loved Turarunta. I don't know why. There's just something in me that I always had it, even though they would say it's until you get married that you're going to use it in your house, but I have always had it. So I just decided this is going to be my challenge, and this is what I'm going to do. I want to start selling Turarunta. So where do I start from? I do not know how to make one. I did not know that. I don't know where to start. I don't even know the ingredients that, you know, people use to produce Turarunta. And I didn't have a capital. And then something, you know how you challenge yourself? I now challenged myself. I said, I would make something. I will build something from scratch. I didn't have capital. I didn't have experience. What I had was determination. For all the jobs that rejected me, I want to come back and see in your face. Well, in your face, federal government. Sorry. So I started by reaching out to a few people that I knew then that were selling Turarunta. And I asked them, sourcing the capital to start this business was not a problem for me. I could ask my husband, I could ask my parents, but I decided I am not going to do any of that. I want to start from the beginning. I want to start from scratch. I don't want to invest money into the business. I want to see the business grow. So, and luckily enough, I did that. I reached out to one of, she was my friend's sister. And I asked her, can you give me your Turarunta to sell? I can be a very good sales agent. I love to talk, and I know that I had this thing about marketing. I can market, put anything in front of me, and I'm going to sell it for you. Like I can sell ice block during this cold season. Those in the north, you know, I could sell ice block. I am good, very good at that. So I told her, give me the products. All I need is the commission. That in your face is the best type of in your face, right? So I got the products, and then when I got the products, I was like, okay, now what am I going to do next? I wasn't on Instagram then. I started marketing on WhatsApp, and got so kind. I got accepted. With my marketing, it was funny, and I was telling people what they needed to hear and why they should even start using Turarunta every day. And do you know, then, like, that was about 6 years ago. 6 years ago, people don't use Turarunta like they use it now. Only brides, like then our parents, but people, you know, it's not so common. And people needed it, but they didn't even know that they needed to start using Turarunta until I started telling them to. So doing that, I have always been very good at my marketing. I started and I was selling. I was selling very, very fast. And that was how I started raising my capital. Every time I sell, I would put my money aside and I would send her money, and I would set my capital aside, and it started piling up because it was selling fast. The next thing, I sat down and I asked myself, is this the journey? Is this what I wanted to do? Well, yes, that is not the journey. That is not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was start my own Turarunta brand, but with which capital? right? And I wanted to establish a customer base before I can even release Turaren Wuta by Ray products. And I started doing my homework. I was selling somebody else's Turaren Wuta, and then I went and I researched and I found somebody, a very elderly woman that could actually put me through and teach me how to do it. I went as I was perfecting my craft, I was selling another person's product. The money is coming and I'm investing the money into my own business. That was how I did it. And I was determined that, look, this thing, it has to work. It has to work. 5 years is a very, very long time. Turaren Wuta is incense. Incense, like can I get a sample of incense here? You put you burn it for the fragrance. You put a little bit on top of a burning coal and it emits the fragrance. It's incense. Turaren Wuta is incense in English. So well, I went and I started and I started learning and trying to perfect my craft, and and something happened. I went and I started then people didn't want to use influencer marketing because there wasn't this mindset shift about how to put your product forward. And every time they approach an influencer, when they give out their rates, they didn't want to just pay that money. But man, I know my onions. I know how to. So I went and I started paying influencers to advertise those products that are not even mine. But then something happened. Because they are not my products and I was selling them under my handle since then on IG. I went and I opened an IG page. It was Turaren Wuta by Ray. People were saying, this person is not selling her own Turaren Wuta. There was a backlash. So eventually I said, okay, it is time to release the actual Turaren Wuta by Ray products. And then I did. And it is the best thing that I have ever done. But before I did, I made sure that the quality of the products are up to standard. I wasn't going to come and make mouth on something that is not going to sell. And then I brought my A game. Oh my God, I brought my A game when it comes to marketing. I left no stone unturned. I did everything to build this brand. And one of the things that I did, besides the product, when a product is good, it markets itself, right? I made sure that we had excellent customer service. Well, I was everything of the business. Then I would make the Turaren Wuta, I would package it, I would dispatch it, I would go to Instagram, I would go to WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, do the advertising. I did every single thing. Like if I wake up in the morning until I sleep at night, I found out the hours. Like there were hours. So my high-end clients, then they only come online like 6 to 7 a.m. before they go to work. That's when we close our deal. So I knew that time I had to be awake. I wasn't sleeping, honestly. I wasn't sleeping because, well, I am looking for money. So and that's when your marketing comes in. It's not like I want this pay. I make sure that I engage my customers. So eventually we started relating with my customers as if we are a family. And that is when I started calling I started calling the members of my tribe TBR family. It was Turare family, but eventually all upcoming Turare sellers started using the word Turare family. And then I turned them to TBR family for it to feel more personal. So doing that, one thing you should know about me is Inadezuchia, like Inadezuchia. I don't know how to say Inadezuchia in English. Can anybody help me? Inadezuchia. So do you want to
agree for anybody?
I know they agree for anybody. I know they agree for anybody. So I was doing that influencer marketing, not yet short-tempered. I am not short-tempered, God forbid. I am bold, yes, and I am determined, right? So during my influencer marketing days, I would send the products to the influencer and then pay them to influence for the products. And that is when I put the brand forward. I invested in product photography. It wasn't much common then. I made sure that the presentation and the captions that come out with the product, it's like, I must try this thing. And that is what I did, and I did it efficiently. When you come to my page, well, on my page, nothing much was happening, to be honest, because likes were low. There would be no comments. You know, people don't like following business pages. Business pages are boring, to be very honest, because it's just pictures of the products and we see them every day. Like sometimes I don't even follow people that I buy stuff from, because if there is nothing, there's no activity going on their pages. So there was no activity going on my page. And I have always, I'll just be paying influencers. With the money from my own commission, I was setting out marketing budget, because that you can have the best product in this world. As long as it's not out there, it's useless. Nobody would know how great it is. So of course you have to set aside marketing budget. And I knew that that is very, very important. And that was what I did. I was spending money. My family members would call, Rahana, to how much did you pay to this person? I said, it's none of your business. They can buy in this area, and I would just laugh. If I give you to influence for me with your 100 followers, what is the gain? I know what I am spending money on, and I would say that it's worked, and alhamdulillah, so far so good. So moving forward, as I was saying in Adezuchia, I came across an influencer, and that influencer is the reason I am who I am today. Well, she's the reason I am who I am today. Because then I just wanted to be, I was in my shell. I wasn't putting myself forward. I was just a faceless brand. Turaren Wuta Bayeri was a faceless brand. There wasn't even a name. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew anything about me. It was just the products the people were buying. One-on-one, we talk in the DM, but who are you talking to? They don't know. So one day I approached this influencer, and I asked her that I wanted to send the products. Then she was the it. She was just in her own world. I don't blame her, and I still respect her a lot. I respect her a lot. I asked to send my products to her. I told her, if I send this, would you please make a review for me? She said yes. She sent me her driver's number. I sent the products out, and I waited for that review to come, and it did not. I kept pushing. I don't give up. One thing about me is I don't give up. As long as I want something and I am determined to get it, I never give up. So after a few weeks, I wasn't pestering her. I would give her time, and then I would send her a message as a subtle reminder to post my products, but she wasn't going to do that. One day she said it. She came to her page and she talked about no, it wasn't on her page. She sent me a message that I should please stop disturbing her. She's not going to put those products forward, and she likes them, but she's not going to promote them. I said, not be by force. So I've asked you first if you are going to promote them for me, but you said, no hard feelings. We moved on. Like I said, I still respect her for doing that, because well, at least she gave me a feedback that turned everything around for me. So that day, as I was sitting down and I got to thinking, right? What makes an influencer? It's the people. It's the people, and it's what they do. So I started researching. How did they build up their numbers? How did they get the attention of people? How did they do this? How did they do that? I promised myself, I am going to be my own influencer. I am going to carry my own matter for my head. I no go green for anybody. I have not been green for anybody. It wasn't just in 2024. I have not been green for anybody. And I said to myself, I will succeed in doing that. So what did I do next? I went and I started going through blogs. And I started going through influencers pages to see what are they doing. I realized that it's gossip, it's this, it's that, but I did not want to do that. But the first thing is that they have to bring themselves forward. And then I realized that when you bring yourself forward, when you put a face to your brand, people trust you more. There was an uprising in scammers were everywhere. And people believe that, well, when there is a face to it, where would this person go? Then I realized this is something that I can do. I remember the first day I sat to make a video. I shot that video 25 times or 26, and I did it with my kids. I gave up. I didn't post any, but I kept on trying. It wasn't easy. I kept on trying. Then I decided that there is an easier way to do it. I started telling stories on my page, not gossip, so not stories of people on IG, random stories. I live around so many people and I hear ridiculously unbelievable stories, and stories would always bring interaction because like you post a story, it starts flying over and people are wondering. I am an excellent storyteller. If I am going to tell you a story now, we are not going to finish this session in 1 hour. So I use that talent. To grow my page. I started, the moment I hear a ridiculous story, next thing, I will be on my page and I would start telling those stories. And it worked. It worked. Soon after, I realized that, okay, let me personalize the brand, right? Let me give something that is personal without actually giving it out. And that is when I started telling home stories about my children. Well, I have twins and they are very, very mischievous. So whenever they do something, everybody knows twins on my page before they even knew me. Like I would come and I would tell stories about what they are doing. They did this, they do that, you know. And you know, when it's people like children, so whenever the story is relating to children, they comment like a lot. Eventually, I got comfortable with posting the twins, and then I started getting comfortable bringing myself forward. And then when I did that, I made sure that I stood by two things. I am not going to be known for somebody that is scandalous. I am not going to be known as my page is not going to be known as a gossip page. My page is not going to be known. I am not going to be known as a liar, and I am going to mind my own business, right? So I did that. So how did I really get the attention of other people that are not that do not get to see my own stories? There is something called a pull page. A pull page is a page that you have your potential clients, customers are on that page. So I went to those pages. I made sure that I was following all those pages. And whenever there is a story, I would make a funny remark. And at the end of the funny remark, I would make sure I just sell my market a little bit without actually selling my market. And when the post is serious, I make sure that I make a sensible remark, right? A sensible remark, a remark that is not going to your comment. You know, you have to watch what you do on social media. So I made sure that I did that. So every comment is filtered. Like I have to think about the backlash. This is me commenting with my business handle, not a personal handle. So whatever you do, it is going to come back to me. So I made sure that my comment is going to drag so many comments under that post. So people started noticing that handle. So this handle exists. But then here you are not advertising. And now I'm talking to the fellow business owners. You are not advertising, right? You're not putting your brand forward. And then on IG, you are not making comments. Nobody knows the handle. And then you are complaining that nobody knows you. There is no traction. There is no, you know. Do you understand what I am saying? Are you with me? Please, if
Yes,
you are...
Yes, ma, we're with you.
We're with you.
Yes, please.
We're with you.
Yes. So I made sure that whenever there is something, I stay away from any controversy, but I make sure that idan in mutuwa aka yi and it's something that you have to sympathize with, if they go through the comment section, they would see Turaren Wuta Bairi. Anything that, you know, they would see Turaren Wuta Bairi. That is how I put the brand forward, right? And then I started dragging attention to myself. So on my journey to become an influencer, I was just not going to be an influencer by just doing what I do on my page alone. So I started making videos, and I had the videos posted on other people's pages. Making videos were not as common as now. Like right now, if you're coming up, it is a challenge, yes, but it wasn't much of a challenge then, because especially here in the North, not many women are able to put themselves forward. So I rose up to that challenge. I said I am going to do it, and I did it, and here we are. Turaren Wuta Bairi is well known, well appreciated. And well, I wouldn't say well, it's the favorite actually. We have so far we have 7 branches. 5 are operational, and we're opening 2. This is how we grew Turaren Wuta Bairi. But I did not just do it on social media. I made sure that there was offline marketing. Like, look at it, if I am going to a wedding, right? If I am going to a wedding, everybody will be busy doing makeup, tying gele, doing gogoro, not me. I am making sure that I have stocked my products in the boot of my car. Yes. While you people are dancing, I am busy in one corner burning Turaren Wuta, and I don't care whose wedding it is. You should even be happy that I am blessing the place with the scent of my Turaren Wuta. So I'll just be busy burning Turaren in one corner. When they come, Kai, this smells nice. It is available for sale. You don't have to go anywhere. It is here. So people are dancing at weddings. I was busy cashing out. I missed the fun. That's okay. I will have fun somewhere else. So that is how I started my offline marketing. And then eventually I cannot say that Turaren Wuta Bairi is successful just because of me. It became successful because of our advocates. And how do you get advocates of your brand? I think my time is up. Now, let me tell you a little bit of a story. So growing Turaren Wuta Bairi, I did not have the necessary knowledge. I was just in the doing stage. I read it in Sam Obafemi's book based on logistics. I was in the doing stage. So when the business became what it is today, I wanted to put in structure in the business because, well, it wasn't well structured. So I heard that there is somebody who was very good with structure, and I confronted her. And I asked her, please, can you help me? She said, yes, she will. And I kept on following up. It's not free. I wanted to pay. I kept on following up and following up and following up. But she wouldn't just give me time to do it. So one day, I just sat down and I said, okay, Ray, you know business, and you have been coaching people. Like, I have been coaching people since 2020. But low-key, not officially, the people would come and I would consult with me and I would tell them what to do and I would help them. So I was like, what is it about her that you cannot do? I asked myself, what is it? It is because she went and she developed herself and she studied and she did everything and she gathered. The knowledge is already out there. It's just for me to go and get it. And that is when I decided I am going to learn structure like hell. And I'm going to put structure in TBR, and I am going to help people put structure in their businesses and everything that they needed. And that was what gave birth to Raise Business Lab. And I believe that the members of Raise Business Lab are here today. If you are here today, please say hi. Let me know that my people came here to support me today.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
So this,
Your
Hi,
army.
we're definitely here.
and this is my coach right here. I am Loyal, sir. And he's the reason why I have been absent in our group. So that is the story of Turaremuta by Ray and what brought about Ray's Business Lab. Thank you.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic. I want anyone to ask the Queen any questions. I recall that preparing for this session, she had a lot of angles to present, and I'm so proud of the angle you've taken it. But I want people to ask you questions. You still have some time. You're actually going to speak. I think if I recall, you started at 5:15 and you're speaking for 45 minutes. So that actually should take you to 6 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. So we still have some short time for questions. If you have a question for Queen Rahana to Ahmed, please ask questions. She talked about Ray's Business Lab. I was in the last session. They hold a session once a month. And the last session was, she hosted Othman Abdul Rashid, the King of the North. And it was fire, you know. And I want to strongly encourage women to consider subscribing to Ray's Business Lab. Ziomi, kindly mute your mic, your phone, Biko. Thank you. So I can see some hands are raised. I think they want to ask you questions. Let's start with Adewumi. Kindly unmute yourself and ask Ray your question.
Thank you for that wonderful story.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was so fantastic. I wanted to ask, what were the barriers that you encountered? It's a speculation. I'm sure religion must have been a barrier. How were you able to overcome that?
Religion was not a barrier at all, because everything that you can do, I tried doing it in accordance with the teachings of Islam.
Okay.
Yes, because if I had done otherwise, maybe what I would have faced was rejection.
Okay. But then putting yourself, because I'm so challenged by your story, putting yourself out there as a woman from the North, it's not, it wasn't a barrier for you. You didn't see it as a challenge.
It was challenging.
Okay.
But the only thing is that I had the support of my husband.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very supportive.
Thank you very much. I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
So there are so many questions in the chat room. Now we're going to have a challenge reading all, but let's see what we can do. The first one is from Zainab Kankara. I want to know more about how to get advocate you spoke about. Can you shed more light? So just talk about the advocate part you talked about. Shed more light about that in maybe 1 or 2 statements.
Well, for me, getting advocates was I showed empathy. I have always shown empathy to members of Turaremuta Bairi in the DM or on the page, and I made sure that I do not ignore comments. I do now, not because I want to, but because time. That's why. But I didn't even okay. Let me tell you the first thing that I did when I wanted to gain advocates, right? People were buying the products, and every time, if you buy 3 products, I will add 1 extra product for you, just free of charge. And I will not even let you know that, I won't even tell you that I have added the product for you. It's when you receive it and you are like, and it's not just that small type. I was given the big ones. You know, the sizes, we have 3 sizes. So I was given out the medium size. So when people were like, hi, you know, people were, Turaremuta Bairi became like home for them. Like it went to a point, because of how nice I was to our customers, it went to a point that when they are buying from somewhere else, they will call me and tell me that, Andrea, it feels like I am cheating on you. I am somebody's else. It's okay. People love variety, and it's okay to want variety. The only thing is that I made sure, because these people, if other people are not giving them free products, and Turaremuta Bairi has been given, especially the return product, you are a returning customer. I will make sure that if I have a Bona, I will add Bona, I would add Turari, I would buy, you know. And whenever I see that if you are a fellow business owner, back, if you're a fellow business owner, I did that on Instagram. I was not, when I said that I wanted to be an influencer, I told myself that I am going to be different. I am not going to be a proud one, and I am going to uplift as many people as I can. And I would say today, to the best of my ability, I have done that. But unfortunately, because of, the numbers, you cannot continue. So then if you are a business owner and I know that you are my customer and I see your product, I'll just advertise for you. It costs nothing actually. So tell me why somebody who did that for you, who was all kind and nice to you, would refuse to advocate for you. Why?
Powerful. Okay. Awesome. That was more than shedding a light, because if you give all these answers here, how will they now join RBL?
Race Business, I think she is already a member of Race Business Lab. It's business, there's so many fields to cover.
Nice. Okay, then we have Ruth is saying, thank you, ma'am. About posting on Instagram, is it advisable to post personal content like videos on a business page? Also, what's the place of paid ads? You have a lot of questions, so you may just need to be straight to the point with some of these questions.
Okay, it has, when we say personal, it's not personal, right? It cannot be maybe an intimate, I don't know how to say this, but when I say personal, it's just sharing a part of your life that is it's not private at all, right? Like it's your morning routine. You don't have to make videos. You can just talk about it. I woke up this morning and I made a cup of coffee. As you are telling it, people are already picturing it in their heads. So you are not putting the videos out there. You are just telling people what you are doing. They would imagine you. If they don't even know your face, they would imagine what you are doing. And that's how you connect. They know that it is a human being. You know that part when they said prove that you are not a robot? That is when you prove that you are not a robot.
Nice one. Oh my God. What's the place of paid ads? That's the second part of her question.
The place for paid ads. I don't think I understand that question correctly, but if they are asking for the pages, well, the current mistake that business owners make at the moment is that they just go, they ask for advert rates, and they pay for the cheapest. Understand? They pay for the cheapest. They don't do their homework. They don't. Have you identified your target market? Have you identified your ideal customer? Are they on that page? Do you understand? So you have to really, really do your homework and then identify which among those pages have the customers that you are looking for. So I usually advise, if somebody come and they are just confused, I would tell them, okay, there is just one page that I recommend, and that page has like everybody. So if you can afford that page, just go there. But if you are very specific, then I can guide you on where to do your adverts that are guaranteed to convert, because your target audience is there. Like, for example, you are selling men fabrics. Why are you advertising at Turaramuta Bairi? How many men are following this page? This is a woman,
Fantastic.
So you have to do your homework, and then that will guide you.
I love that. Jamila is saying, how do you deal with inflation in terms of production, and what measures are you advising small business owners? Inflation.
This inflation is blowing us left, right, center. But for me, ever since I started my business, I was not chasing the profit. I have always been reinvesting my money back into the business. So one thing I make sure that I never run out of is products. No matter how hard it is, I would always have products on ground. And whenever I sense that inflation is coming in, I will do helter-skelter, get money and buy products. Because those products are guarantee that your business is going to survive for the next few months. For the next few months. Because if you do not have products, it means in this current state, you are going to be changing your prices after every 7 days.
Yeah.
After every 7 days. So imagine what that does to you as a business owner. I come and today's price is not tomorrow's price, and you keep saying that today's price is not tomorrow. You would be seen as somebody who Hausawa suna bata magana daya. Sure, you get. And it doesn't put you in a very good position.
You say you lack integrity.
Exactly, you lack integrity. That's the word. And one thing that you should always have as a business is that integrity. Without it, you have nothing. You will not grow. You will not grow as far as you want to.
Wow.
So as far as inflation is concerned, to me, the secret is in the restocking. I can let go of my salary and restock my product. I know I would get my salary from somewhere else.
Powerful. Wow. Guys, please don't ask any more questions. We're dealing with the ones just in the chat room because now everybody's interested in listening to the Queen. How did you toggle between family, kids, husband, and of course, you didn't have an intention of 9-to-5 job?
Well, that I would say that is the easiest part. Some people take it to be the most difficult, but for me, I would say, thank God, that was the easiest part. There is something. It's all about, it's not just a matter of priority, right? But it is delegating what you can delegate. You are not, nobody is a superhuman being. You cannot do it all. So once you realize that you need help, you have to go out of your way to get that help. I always say this, if you can afford hiring 10 house helps, hire 10 house helps. You are even doing your community a service. Everybody wants is looking for something, right? So I hired as many help as I can, so that in the morning, well, the only thing I cannot outsource is somebody to take care of my husband. So I do that one.
Buddy.
But the first thing I did was I hired a cook because I couldn't juggle. Like my food started tasting bitter. I would be in the middle of Turaremuta and I am running to the kitchen to make I nearly ran mad. So when I realized that, okay, I can actually hire a cook to take care of that part, I did hire a cook. And luckily for me, because I lived in a family house, I had some people helping me with my children. So really the key is to have help. You are not a superwoman. Nobody can do it all. And when you're thinking about your business and you think, okay, if I had this mentality that nobody can make Turaremuta my products like I can, if I had told myself, how much Turaremuta can one person produce? No matter what you do, somebody is there and can do it as good as you can and better than you can. You only need to train them. So in terms of both home and business, the only reason that many of you are suffering is because you refuse to get that help.
Wow. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really sorry. I can't continue reading the questions because it will affect the next speaker's time. I see you guys are passionate about reaching her. So Queen, you're going to put your contact details in the chat room so that people can reach you directly, how you want them to reach you. Because I tell you now, you have more people who want to hear you. Even on YouTube, I can see that we have quite a number of people. Today, we have the highest number of people watching on YouTube. That's impressive.
Well,
fantastic.
The Queen came, so she brought that subject with her.
So guys, I think that Queen of the North has done an amazing job. And I want us to give her a rousing applause as she takes a bow and we prepare to take the next speaker. Thank you so much, Queen Ray, Ray, and awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to switch over to the next speaker in a few minutes. And it's promising to be a beautiful night already. I just like the quality of speakers at OSP, honestly. Very powerful, very powerful. There are so many comments. I think you'll take your time to read them, because if I'm going to read all these comments, we will not leave here today. So we're going to take a second of 1 minute of break. I want us to do something very quick. Everybody, not everybody, as many as possible in 1 minute, you're going to write in the chat room. Okay, no, let me do this. If you are here and you've attended every speaker session since Friday night, please type I in the chat room. If you have attended every speaker session, you have not missed one since Friday night. Yes, Friday we had 3 speakers. Yesterday we had, was it 6 or 7 speakers? I can't remember now. Jamila says, I, myself, and me. Okay. I think Queen can take, you can have your video off now. That works. Okay. So the Queen came with her entourage, honestly, Kwa. So I can see a few people who said they've been here from the very beginning. Jennifer, MT Adeniran, Jamila, Elijah, Kingsley, Ovosa. Wow. I have Jida, I have Dorothy, I have Sarah. Missed the first 40 minutes today because of network. 40 minutes is already missing a whole speaker's time. Then I have Joy. That's like almost 10 people. Chai, when I go chop all the money I get. I know do this one. I know do this one. But you know what? I have to reward the people that have not missed a session. I have to reward them. So this is what we're going to do. OBK is going to schedule a free copy of my new book to these people. I'm not taking anybody from now, but we are going to verify this, Sha. To verify this somehow. So Jennifer, Shom, MT Adeniran, Jamila. Jamila, I need you to send your full name because there can be many Jamilas. Elijah Dodo, Kingsley Okonoda, Ovosa, we know you. And then there's Jida Ibrahim, then Dorothy Hirse, that's Mrs. O, Sarah Alabe, Joy. Joy, we need to have your full name so that we don't mix it with another Joy. Ruth said, I joined all 3 days. Not all 3 days. Did you miss 0 speaker is the question. All 3 days. Me, I not joined all the 3 days. So we want, if you have not missed a single speaker, Princess Udog says, I've been here for the 3 days, but not all the sessions. No, you know join. You know join. Jamila have been following from UK. Wow. In fact, I like this kind of one. Now, people from Canada, US, those ones will inconvenience them. Jamila, I have interest in your own matter. So OBK, I don't know if you're here or if Stella is going to help. Take note of these people. They're going to have a free copy of my book. Somebody says, what if the person already has a copy? If you already have a copy of Marketing Without a Budget, you can choose between any other copy. Like I have Based on Logistics, I have Fans Don't Pay. Pick any copy. But you have a free copy of my book to pick from. Whichever one you pick, it is free. How it gets to you is in your hand. I'm not going to take transportation. So, fantastic. Princesses, we follow from Dubai, because it's 3 hours. Dubai is 3 hours ahead now. It's even easier. Me, I woke up yesterday 6 a.m. That's like your 9 a.m. already. Elijah Dodo says, I have all your books, sir. You can dash you are a super mentor. There are proteges, you can dash the book. Don't worry. So, I'm already eating into our next speaker's time. But it's always a beautiful time catching a banter in any of these sessions. Let me quickly read our speaker's profile so that we can hear from her. Feyi Shayo is currently a mental health nurse, demonstrating profound expertise in managing clients with mental health challenges. She's passionate about promotion of mental health, prevention of mental illness, and she advocates for the She advocates for this through public speaking on radio and in religious organizations. Also, she provides leadership services at clinical level. Her career spans influential roles within and outside Nigeria. She deploys effective communication, leadership skills, and emotional intelligence to achieve her goals. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, another delightsome voice, a delightsome personality. Last Thursday was her presentation in the in-house OSP trainings. In OSP, we have in-house trainings once every 2 weeks. Last Thursday was her session. It was out of this world. The raves were crazy. Tonight, we have another privilege to hear her voice, and you've got the floor, madam. Welcome to the Pan-African webinar.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm happy to be back here. Thanks for the privilege. Thanks for the opportunity to join again this evening. I hope I won't be boring because after listening to Hajia's story, mental health can be very boring, but then I hope we'll be able to do something. Because after listening to that story, as if I shouldn't end. Yeah, thank you very much, Sam.
Awesome.
So like you heard, my name is Feishayo. I'm a mental health nurse, and so my topic this afternoon is mental health as the gateway to transgenerational wealth in Africa. So we want to see how this works, whether it's even something we should consider or we should just discard the idea. Yeah. So you can see, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank God. It wasn't like that the other day. So what do you think about mental health? When you hear the word mental health, anyway, before you say anything, let me quickly share this story with you. When I wanted to study mental health nursing, after School of Nursing, I wanted to study mental health nursing. I went home, told my parents, so going forward, what I want to be is a mental health nurse. And my dad was like, my dad is educated. He was a retired principal, God bless his soul. And he was like, there is a man in our hometown who was rearing snakes, and in the process, the snakes eventually killed him. So he believes that people who take care of mentally ill people might also get killed by mentally ill patients eventually. So he was afraid. So he didn't support my dreams. On my mom's part, I think one of my aunts came to her and was like, it's so difficult for nurses to get married. Now, if your daughter is going to study psychiatric nursing, who will marry somebody that is taking care of people that are mentally ill? So nobody supported me, but thank God, as soon as I left the School of Nursing, I got a job for a few months. So the money I got from there, I went to buy my form from School of Psychiatric Hospital, Benin. I bought my form, I went to Arao. It didn't take me, went to Benin. Benin took me. I started. And then one day I was just in class and some of my classmates came to me to tell me I had a visitor. Going downstairs, I met my dad. I was shocked. Like, he said, I came to give you money. I was happy. And then the journey began. So what do you think about mental health? Quick one. I always love us to talk because I believe we all know one or two. We all know. You know more than I do. I'm just privileged to be here this evening. So what do you think about mental? It's only the consultant psychiatrist. I don't want him to say anything. Thank you, sir. So what do you think? What do you think about mental health? When you hear mental health, psychiatry and stuff like that, what comes to your mind? Okay, I want to be very fast because I know my time is limited. What comes to your mind? I'll be checking the charts. Okay, let me quickly look at the globally acceptable. I'll read the charts later. Please just drop whatever you feel. I'll read it out later. So let's look at the globally accepted definition of mental health. Mental health is not just the absence of mental illness. It is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make contribution to his or her own community. This is globally accepted because it's from the World Health Organization. So which means, breaking it down, for you to say somebody is mentally healthy, it's not just because this person is not having mental illness. It's because this person is in a state of well-being whereby Number one, they can realize their own abilities. Number two, they can cope with normal stresses of life. Number three, they can work productively and fruitfully. And then they are able to make meaningful contribution to their community. Okay. So next slide. Sorry. So mental health continued. When you talk about mental health, we're talking about your cognitive ability, your cognitive health. Cognitive health in the sense that ability to recognize. Like cognitive, the word comes from recognition. But cognitive in this sense is talking about our thinking process. Scientists told us that we have about 6,000 thoughts that runs through our minds. Is it in a minute or in a day? Like 6,000. So what's the quality of your thoughts? That's what mental health is trying to address. The quality of your thought. What are you thinking about? Are you even able to think at all? Emotional health, how you feel. Your feelings, how they affect you. Then your behavioral health. You know, if you look at these three, the way you think dictates the way you feel, and then this dictates the way you behave. So you can see that the three are actually connected. Concept of mental health. I want to be fast about it because where we're going, I just wanted us to have a clear understanding of what mental health is before we go on. So when you talk about concept of mental health as a concept is measured using the following yardsticks. Self-acceptance. Most of us find it difficult to accept who we are. So for you to say, oh, I'm mentally healthy, because we look at people who are on the streets picking garbage, people in the psychiatric hospital, or you have a colleague who talks to himself, somebody who does it, you think, oh, this person is not mentally stable. But the thing is, in quotes, scientists believe we all have a measure of mental instability, just to put it, like that, though it ranges, from being very dysfunctional to being very, very functional, from being very functional to being very dysfunctional. So self-acceptance is a yardstick that is used to measure our mental health. How well are you able to accept who you are? Growth. Are you growing? Physically we grow, but mentally, are you growing? Are you growing mentally? Then purpose. Are you able to define your purpose in life? Do you have a purpose? Do you even understand this purpose? Have you even taken time to see, to ask yourself, to ask around, what is my purpose? Autonomy. Autonomy is talking about your ability to make decisions on your own. Like, fine, you can have a team. People can do things with you. We have families. We have elder ones. We have younger ones. We have colleagues at work. But then someone who is mentally healthy must be able to make decisions on their own. And that is autonomy. Then environmental mastery. How well aware are you about your environment? Do you even know your environment? Do you even care? Is it your business? What is going on around you? And then positive relationships. Mental health thrives on relationships. Without good relationships, positive relationships, our mental health is highly jeopardized. Why is mental health so important? Please drop your comments in the chat. I'll look through it and I'll read it. Why is mental health so important? Mental health is a basic human right. It's so important because it's a basic human right and it is crucial to personal, community, and socio-economic growth. Without mental health, we go nowhere. Mental health is so crucial that I call it transgenerational wealth because, we used to say health is wealth. When it comes to mental health, I call it transgenerational wealth. You know why? I've managed patients in times past who had mental health challenges and then they had physical health issues. For example, someone can come into the hospital with a diagnosis of probably, a mania, okay? And then this person is also having diabetes. Now, because that person is sick mentally, they are unable to take care of their physical health. So many times you discover that they're not eating what they're supposed to eat. They're not taking care of themselves. They don't even know that they should take their medications for no matter how critical that physical health is. Once there is a mental health challenge, the physical health goes down to zero. And this drastically reduces the life expectation of those who are down with mental health issues. Also, mental health is crucial because it is important in the community. Very, very important. Without mental health, communities can never develop. If we are all mentally unstable, if we don't have our mental health in place, we can never build a healthy community. Socioeconomic growth. For us to have socioeconomic growth anywhere in the world, no matter how developed that place is, we must be mentally healthy. Just like I said earlier, it's the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we behave. So if we're not thinking the right way, we're not feeling what we should be feeling per time, we're not behaving the way we should be behaving as occasions dictate, socioeconomic growth can never happen. Why is mental health essential to the transgenerational growth of Africa? Why is it the key? Why? So we'll quickly look at it. As a people, we need to undertake a journey to self-awareness. You know, the Black race, when we talk about Africa, we always say Black race. I know there are some Africans who are not actually Black. But then, as a continent, when you look at what is happening now, at least I can talk about Nigeria, you know, the Japa syndrome. Everybody wants to leave. Oh, this place is not good. I want to leave. And so many other things. But then, is that the solution to the problem? I know someone will say, let me japa first. When I get there, I will know the solution to the problem. Anyway, as we journey together this evening, we'll be answering questions and then we'll know if we are in the right direction or not. As a people, we need to undertake a journey to self-awareness. Who are we? Who are Africans? Without our mental health in place, we cannot do all this. And that is why I said it is the gateway to transgenerational wealth in the Africa continent. We need to take a journey of self-awareness. Who are we? You know, it's bothersome sometimes when, well, as an individual, I look at the way we have taken ourselves. But in the true context of it, who are Africans? Have you ever really sat down to think about yourself? To say, okay, I'm Black, I'm born in Nigeria, I'm born in Ghana, I'm from Kenya, I'm an African. Who am I? What do I represent? What do I stand to contribute, you know, to the society? We need to take that journey to discover who we are, to discover, you know, our limitations, our boundaries, what we are capable of doing, what we should not be doing, and stuff like that. Our resources, because most times we look at ourselves like people who are helpless. You know, in psychology, it's called learned helplessness, where you just look at yourself, probably because of circumstances around you, probably because of trauma, probably because of limiting circumstances. You just think, oh, I'm helpless. I can't go forward. I can't do anything. I'm worthless. I think as Africans, if you have the skin color that I have, or possibly you don't even have this skin color, but you're an African, I think we need to take this journey of self-awareness. After this, I believe you also need to take a journey of acceptance, accepting who you are. One of it is, for example, you are in Nigerian. I accept I'm in Nigerian. I can't be any other person. You see, these things appear small, but by the time you start looking at it, it's a big, 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 big picture. Why do you think people take time to research and bleach their skin? That's a very high form of self-hatred anyway. You're not accepting your skin color. You think, oh, until I have this particular color, I'm not fine. It's because of our mental health. It's because of the way we are thinking. And so you feel like, oh, because of this color. And, you know, when you see social media paparazzi as well, you see how they look at people who are fair and things like that. This has destroyed destinies. So we need to take that journey. And we need our mental health in place. We should be aware of what mental health is. And when we are aware of what mental health is, just like I said earlier, and then we want to see how can we use this to our advantage. Mental health has always been around. It's always been a part of human existence. Mental health is not something that maybe some white people brought to us, because some people, as soon as they hear mental health, they say, oh, these Oyinbo people, they've come. They are the ones who are always talking about mental health. No, mental health has always been with us. It has always been there, because it's just like health. It's just like someone saying they imported health to us. No, nobody imported it. It's just part of human existence. Also, as a people, we need to undertake a journey to healing from trauma. Yeah, some people are always talking about, we were not alive then. At least for me, I can say I wasn't alive when the slave trade was on. Though I've been to some sites, I think in Ghana, where it came out, as a bold picture, very vivid. Like, so this was what my forefathers passed through. Trauma is another thing, is another topic on its own. But briefly, what I just want to talk about trauma is, you see, trauma can alter the way we think. Trauma can shut down the way we perceive the world around us. It's because when we are experiencing trauma, even sometimes you are not able to recollect everything that happened, because the body is trying to shut itself down so that it don't feel that pain. I think as Africans, this thing that came upon us about a few years ago, Yahoo. Aha. Some people will tell you I became a Yahoo boy because Oyinbo people took money from my forefathers. It may be true. Some people have actually seen, they've been to sites, they've read history, they've seen all these things, and they're like, no, I must take my whole pound of flesh back. I must take it back. But then, is that the answer to the problem in the Africa continent? It is not. So I think we should take a journey whereby we all plan to heal from trauma. I know we can't move at the same pace, but as individuals, as families, these are things we need to tell our children. Because when you look at where we are right now, for me, when I think about it, I know how it was growing up. I know how it is now. I don't think we are getting there. And I'm sure, some of the things that has caused this is the way we've been brought up, or the way we've been made to perceive ourselves. Now, when you look at all these developed countries, one thing they do, at least I know very well about the UK, there is a day they separate, they put that day aside for Blacks to say, okay, we want to teach children about the Black history. We want to tell those children the evil that our people did to their forefathers. And then some of them will even go online to say, we apologize, this is what we've done, and that is what we've done. And sometimes when you see some of their political decisions, it also stems from them thinking, we've wronged these people, how can we make it right? But the truth is, if they are trying to do that, and we believe we were wronged, what are we doing about it? I'm sure when all these things were happening, possibly so many people that went ahead of us did not even think about it. As funny as it is that people became Yahoo guys, Yahoo ladies, I met quite a number of them in practice, and they tell you the same story. Somebody stole from my forefathers, and then I want to steal from them. It's a whole lot. Yeah, just like the next point is, we need to take a journey that connects us with our history positively. When you look at African history, we have a very rich history, a very beautiful and robust history, far from from the slavery. I know, like sometimes, even when you go to some of the developed countries, you still see the way some people think, especially when they are in the midst of white people. They look at themselves like, what am I really doing here? Do I even fit? Can I even perform up to them? When you look at at the history of our fathers, we need to connect with it positively. I believe it's one of the things that will help us to heal. It will help us a whole lot to heal. Also, as a people, I believe we need to undertake a journey to operating within our circle of control as Africans, because this is particularly important at this time, especially for those of us who have chosen to remain where we are. For example, you see some people, they'll tell you there's nothing that can take them out of Africa, there's nothing that can take them out of Nigeria, out of Ghana, which is very, very good. And then if we are making these decisions, we need to take a journey to understand how we can operate within our circle of control. Everyone, irrespective of who you are, you have a circle of control. Also, I believe we should take a journey to going back to the basics. I'll touch on that later. We should go back to the basics. And when you go back to the basics, basically it connects to the next thing, that is reclaiming our values. We were people who had very great values, but unfortunately, we are losing those values now. And why are we losing those values? Number one, no self-awareness. Number two, we're not accepting who we are. We want to be someone else. So we need to reclaim our values. For example, you see people now, so for example, a very good example I want to give, I don't know, okay, there is a current one I was coming across on Facebook since yesterday, like somebody kneeling down to grace, somebody not kneeling down to grace. You see, these are basic values. These are things we hold. We hold respect, respecting people. We have our own way of respecting people. The way we choose to respect people in Africa is just the way it is. If other people choose to respect people another way, it doesn't mean the way they have chosen to respect people is better than the way we have chosen to respect in our own way. I don't know if you're getting what I'm trying to say. Please, if you are following me, type "I'm following you" in the comment section or in the chat. Thank you. We need to reclaim our values of integrity. Integrity. Now it's just make money. There's no day we continue thinking about this. Just make money. Money is everything. Bring home money. If you don't have money, you're worthless. No, that was not who we had. I could remember very vividly growing up. I think it's just because of circumstances. Circumstances has altered our cognitive process. It has altered the way we feel about ourselves. Then you cannot bring in anything and your parents will not demand strict explanation. You must be able to explain to your mom and your dad, no matter your age, so far they are alive, where you got money. We had integrity. We're people of integrity. There is no system that will work. Most of us that are running now will say, oh, I'm going to the US, I'm going to Canada. Deep down, some of us never wanted to leave, and we know this. But when you get to these countries, what do you see? They have a value system. They have a value system that makes everything works. Until we go back to the basics to reclaim our values, Africa may not be there. And some of us know what we passed through. The first time, I'm sorry to say this, but it's just my experience. The first time I'll suffer, I'll call it discrimination because now I can't call it racism because it was from another African country, was when I went to Ghana to study. And, suspicions like, oh, we don't even know if the certificate you brought was original, if it was not original. Why? Because as a people, integrity was lost. And then we started, the course was supposed to be for, I think, 4 years. So we're trying to negotiate with our HOD that, see, this is what we've done from Nigeria. So maybe you can make it 3 years. And she was like, okay, I'll look into it. And eventually we discovered that she was talking from a place of integrity. Then that actually spurred us on to say, okay, in this school, for those of us, we were 6. For those of us that came from Nigeria, we're going to put in our best and we're going to come out in our flying colors. And 6 of us, I think someone came out with the distinctions. Some of us came out with first class, some of us came out with second class. We were able to prove to them that, see, whatever we brought from Nigeria was what it should be. We must reclaim our values. That is why you see all this unnecessary clamoring, people disrespecting us. As a continent, we need to rethink. And just like I said earlier on, trauma might have changed the way we think. But the question we should ask ourselves is, if we continue thinking in this line, are we getting to where we want to get? Are we going to ever get there? Home advantage will always be home advantage, whether we want to admit it or not. I'm still coming to that. we have to go on a journey of recreating our minds. Honestly, especially with this generation, I can say with this generation, well, I know that whatever we're experiencing right now has been is being built on certain foundations. However, when we look around now, it's scary. I remember when I started practicing mental health nursing, we had just few words. But now, sometimes to even get beds to admit people it's a big challenge. Why? Because our actions and inactions continues to affect us negatively, but we're not talking about it. We just think it's something that we can just wish away. No, we can't wish it away. We need to recreate our minds. See, recreating our minds is just very, very crucial. It's very important. I don't even know how to talk about. I don't even know how to stress it. We have the mind. You see the mind where Zoom came from is that same mind where somebody believed that, okay, I don't want to, because I know so many people are here. I don't know. I don't know how to, in Yoruba, maybe if you are conversant with Yoruba movies, you must have heard in Kotabawi Fogbologbongbo, like what our fathers used to do. They do one thing, they do it like spiritually. I don't know how to really explain it. And then you begin to see the person who is on the other side. Technology, African technology. You see, the same mind that conceived Zoom was the same mind that conceived that your ability to see another person who is in another continent. But then somebody was thinking that, okay, let me do this for people's benefit. But some other person was thinking, okay, I can do this to monitor people. They only tapped into different realms. I tell you the truth. They only tapped in, the minds are the same. It's just the same mind. But a mind tapped into the physical realm, tapped into how can I improve people's lives? And then a mind tapped into, another realm to say, okay, these are things I can do, and these are things I cannot do. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. If you understand what I'm trying to say, please put in something in the chat. Let me see it. We need to recreate our minds to see what we can do to better our lot as a people. And this is very important. When you're thinking about something, today now we are all on Zoom, we are all using, different technologies. What are we thinking about as Africans? What do we want to invent? Because everything starts from the mind. And that is why I am always so passionate about mental health. Well, I can go anywhere to give any presentation without anybody giving me anything, because I know how powerful the mind can be. I know how ideas that has turned the world. Look at the Wright brothers when they wanted to develop the plane. It was just an idea from their minds. We need to be proactive in the way we think. We need to be progressive. We need to be positive. And that is why I said earlier on that we need to connect to our history. We need to reconnect with our history. Very, very important, in a positive manner. Stepping up from the trauma or whatever we think, or whatever disadvantage we think has been, has come our way. We also need to go on the journey of building communities. Africans are people who are great at building communities. Just like, this is going back to the basics now. You see, when Elijah was presenting, she said something, I don't know if anybody caught it. She said one thing that made it easy for me to build my business was because I was living in a family house. But now, what do? We demonize people around us. It is not part of us. It is because the way we think has been, we have been able to rethink what we are not. Because we look at everything we do like, if you are able to connect with what I said earlier, now self-acceptance, we look at everything we do as if they are inferior because we are not able to accept who we are. We must learn how to build communities. I'm not saying you should live in a family house. I'm not saying you shouldn't live in a family house. But I tell you, I was reading something about Turkey as a country. I was reading something about them. And one thing they still do till today is to build big houses where they all live, communal living. When I was doing my project work, when I was graduating from the School of Psychiatric Nursing, I did something about family, the impact of family on mental health. And one thing is that people who have very good family connections, even when they have mental health issues, they are able to skate through better than people who don't have family support. And I've seen this in practice as well, not just in Nigeria, even outside Nigeria. Because some of us, we don't place value on families again. And that's why I also said, we have to go back and reclaim our values, those family values. And I know where all these things also started. Some of our parents, they were lucky. They trained some of our uncles. And then when it was time for those ones to train people, they said, oh, no, it's just me and my family. And things started crumbling. And you knew how it was way back then when we'll go back home during Christmas and then you've seen this person, maybe your cousin, who was, now a medical doctor, now an engineer. You are encouraged. It's not about baseless competition. You are encouraged. Your parents can also tell you, oh, look at your elder brother. And then you are proud of who they are. We must go back to that basics. Building communities. I was reading a research work about a few days ago about Asians when they migrate to other countries. One of the things they do basically is to retain their identity. They retain their identity. They retain their culture. They live in large families. They build businesses and they bring other people from Asia to come and take over those businesses. They are building communities. Don't be surprised. You can maybe 5, 10, 15 years to this time, some of these so-called developed countries go and look at what Asians will be doing because of the communities they are building now. Also, we need to utilize the currency. If you're writing or if you're reading this, you can see that I underlined the word currency. What is the currency that I'm talking about here? I'm not talking about dollars. I'm not talking about pounds. I'm talking about the currency that is readily available to every one of us, which is our brain. I was looking through Mr. Segun Aremu's presentation where he talked about the dollar brain. There are different types of brain. But believe you me, go to United States of America, open up a man's skull. What you will see there is the gray matter and the white matter. And then come to Africa, come to my hometown, my little village in Ondo State. Go there, open somebody's skull. What you will see is the gray and the white matter. Your brain is your currency. It's the greatest currency anybody will ever have. Dollar is spent in the United States, pounds in the United Kingdom, naira in Nigeria, wherever. People are a currency. People are also a currency. But then for individuals, we all have one currency, and that is our brain. And when you open up the brain is just the brain. The same thing. The same way yours was blank when you were born was the same way mine was blank when I was born. But we're using this. Do we even know our brain is a currency? Think of it this way. If your brain is not a currency, why are countries eager to have you? But how well are we using this currency? And this currency is free. And just like every other currency, if you're not investing into it, it goes down. So if you're not investing into your brain, so when I talk about currency, I'm actually talking about this upstairs. The second currency I want to talk about is time. Time is time for everybody. But what are you using your time for? What am I using my time for? Because I'm also talking to myself. What are you using your time for? What am I using my time for? These are critical things we need to. And when I'm talking about time, I'm not talking about time management. I'm talking about time in the concept of the past, the present, and the future. When you look at us as Africans, we don't have long-term plans. It's not in our agenda to have long-term plans. We just want to do it now. That's survivor mentality. We want it now. We want to make the money now. We want to spend the money now. No, that is not who we are. That is not who we are. We have to put an end to copy and paste. What do I mean by copy and paste? I think so far so good. I've observed, my observation may be very wrong. It's subjected, it can be subjected to analysis, to research, Africans, are the set of people who easily copy others the most. I've looked at Arabians, I've looked at Asians. When you meet an Asian, no matter the panel they are seated, for example, an Indian lady will come in dressed like an Indian. The moment you see them, you know this is an Indian. It's an Indian lady. But when you look at us, we are the ones who wants to, the blacks, we just want to replicate everything. You see, there is a trend now that is bothersome, is worrisome for me, and it's the trend of child training. Now people talk about, don't beat your kids. I'm not in support of anybody meting out physical punishment or whatever to their children. But let me just leave this with us. If people are building, and at a stage, they need foreigners to come and help them sustain whatever they've built, do you think it's because they love you so much, and that is why they open their borders for us to come? We need to think about this, so that before we copy this trend of leaving the children to themselves. Children cannot be left to themselves. We have a very good way of bringing up children. I don't know, when people say, it's because of the way I was raised, I always wonder, but I was also raised in the 80s too. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, we were brought up not to ask questions. I begin to wonder, who were my parents? Were they from Mars? Our parents did good jobs. Some of them made mistakes, which we are also making. Irrespective of the book you read, irrespective of the profession you practice, you still make mistakes. But one thing, don't let these children leave the basics of humanity: integrity, respect, love, care, compassion. Children's destiny are greater than no matter how developed the country is, your child's destiny is greater than, because I see that rave now. I see everyone talking about children, like, please. This has been a burden on my heart, because they have the future. They are the ones we're talking. When you talk about this transgenerational, they are the ones we want to leave it into their hands. We have to take good care of them. What is happening out there is scary. It is scary. And I want to say this before I leave. We are a people who are very, very great. But remember what I said. Once, you see, everything that comes after us is just coming after our minds. It's just, once your mental health is affected, everything is no longer the same. The pyramids in Egypt. I was doing a program on project management, and I came across ancient things about project management, history of project management. And one of the things was that the pyramids in Egypt is an African country. One of the pyramids in Egypt were actually built using project management systems. Now, everybody's talking about project management. It's not a new thing. I'll tell you why I'm talking about this. When you look at the Yoruba numerical, Yoruba numerals, it's based on subtraction models. Why am I saying these things? I'm saying these things to let you know that only people with very high thinking capacity that could have developed all these things. But where did we lose it? What happens to us? How are we going to get these values back and transmit it onto our children? Is by getting our mental health in place. Is by understanding what mental health is. Is by understanding what the things that can mess up with our mental health and bringing them back to what they should be. I want to know what you feel about this topic. I think I've come to an end. What do you think? Do you think mental health is actually the gateway to transgenerational wealth in Africa, or it is not? Thank you for listening. I hope I've not been too boring.
Omo, that was such a deep class.
Thank you, sir.
Deep class. References, research, illustrations, very pragmatic illustrations. I like that. The way you linked them are so real. They're just some light bulbs for me. I'm like, wow, that's very true. When you're giving illustrations around, like just this last one you gave around the pyramids and then the numerical systems, is so valid. It's so valid. And I like one thing you were trying to say earlier. Every scenario that happens, all of us have two options: to think of how it can empower and build people, or to think of how it can be a destructive weapon. And that's just so valid. Value reorientation, having a positive approach to thinking, working on ourselves, and being that open to being the agent of change ourselves. Your talk is deep on so many levels. And I really
Thank you, sir.
appreciate how far you've gone on this, man. Very, very, very powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we should ask her questions. I'm quite fired up. There are a lot of light bulbs she dropped. Very, very solid. One thing I'm taking away, if among these so many light bulbs, is this, because you touched an area of my interest, community. I'm a community-made person. And I've seen how, because you also made reference to how we were raised. And it's very, very true. No matter how woke we get, and no matter how modern we become, and no matter how, in quote, futuristic we are, we really cannot escape the power of community. It is a lifesaver.
It
and
is.
You referenced Rahana's talk. I was telling a friend yesterday, I said, there's just this comfort that family is around. You have children, you have siblings, you have relatives, you have dependents. Once family is organized, these things really don't, it's not a function of irresponsibility. Your family is your family.
Exactly.
So community and family is such a very big thing. It's not anything we can explain away. And you made a point that I agree. I am a witness to this. People are able to manage mental health better when they have a solid family support system.
Yeah.
It is just non-negotiable. So your talk is deep at so many levels. There are so many things that you said, Kai, very on point. Very on point. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to appreciate our psychiatric nurse, because, man, her content is rich and very, very solid. And please, if you have a question for her, by all means, please let us know if you want to ask it. Okay, so there's a question in the room. Do you want to read it and answer, boss?
Okay, sir. Oh, it says, how can one heal from trauma? Please, just some tips. Okay. That will take us a bit far away from our topic. Trauma is a big one. But what I would just try to say is, number one, recognizing that you've been traumatized. Now, what we traumatize is different from what we traumatize me. But just like what we've been saying, if you've been traumatized, the first thing is to seek help. Seek help. Because no matter how much no matter what you do, if you're not ready to engage, nobody can help you. So the first thing is seek help. I want to be healed. That's number one. Number two, be kind to yourself. So many times we are kind to other people, but we are unkind to ourselves. Admit to yourself, I've been traumatized. Yes. Probably that is why I'm behaving this way. Probably that's why I can't make friends. So be kind to yourself. I'm not a bad person. It's because I've, but then, just like I used to tell my clients, I tell them, see, trauma is not an excuse for bad behavior. Some people will tell you, because I'm narcissistic because I've been traumatized. No, it is not an excuse. So just take that also. So if there are things people have been telling you, and it's, about this trauma, just tell yourself, I'm not a bad person. I might have a bad behavior, but then bad behavior is not the solution to trauma. That's it. Then seek help. You can walk to any psychiatric hospital. I know in Nigeria it's strange. You can walk to any psychiatric hospital, request to see a consultant psychiatrist, request to see a psychologist, tell them what you're going through, how it's affecting you, and how you want to be helped. And I'm sure from there, somebody will be able to help you. But the basic thing is just recognizing the need for help, which is very basic.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. Thank you so much, nurse. Your session is very instructive, and we really appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. We're going to let you go now as we plan to go on to the last speaker for the weekend. Woo! Man, like Play-O, the weekend has wound down. Are the two contestants still online? The 5K people. Let's see if we can finally decide Let's see if we can finally decide the winner of our 5,000 naira. Are these two contestants still online? If not, then that saves my account. Fatima Ahmed.
Yes, we are online.
Fatima, speak for yourself. Don't say we. You are online.
Yeah.
Where is the other contestant? Is the other contestant online?
Coach, yes, I'm online.
I can see Fatima. Where is what's the other person's name again?
Jida. She said she's online.
Jida. Is Jida online? Okay, yes, she's online. I can see her name now. Okay, so two of you are going to give a pitch. You're each going to unmute yourselves. I'm going to record you for seconds. I'm going to give you guys 60 seconds each. You're going to speak to the weekend. You've been here all weekend. You're going to give a very short summary of every speaker you heard. This is like a very tough pitch, and I like it because I don't want to just dash you 5K like that. Can't be dashing people money like that. So you're going to summarize based on all you've heard this weekend. So I'm going to give you guys, because I'm going to promote something very shortly. While I'm promoting it, you both would quickly put your thoughts together. If you like, you can write like an outline on a sheet of paper. Then you're going to give a 1-minute pitch. The room, everybody here will now vote. I'm going to create a poll. Everybody will vote for who amongst the two of you summarized the best, gave us the most of the summaries for this weekend. Is this something you both are interested in doing? If you're interested, type yes in the chat room. And if one of you wants to step down for the other, let's step down for the other now. This is where you can now say, I step down for this president. How can you get the replay of other days? We posted that a bit earlier. OPK is going to repost that so that but you can just go to our YouTube link and you can see the links on the page. So OPK, kindly repost the replays for other days, or just post the YouTube link and they can go and get it on the YouTube page. So I'm going to quickly talk about something that I want all of you to try to get. I'm going to do that quickly before our next speaker comes up to speak. And while we do so, I'm hoping that Jida and Fatima can quickly prepare themselves to come and tell us a short summary in 1 minute each of what they got since the weekend started, so that we can use that to say who is the one that was listening the most, and then we can now reward the winner of the entire pitch. So I'm going to quickly, let me get this done. Just a second. Madam Feishai was talking about community, and I said she talked about something very dear to me. So I want to invite everyone, if you have not bought my book titled Marketing Without a Budget, I want you to consider buying this book. This book is primarily for business owners, that's true, considering that we believe that in business, communities are necessary for the following. If you own a business, you need a community for the following reasons. One, the way your business will last is because there is a community built around the business. I have been fortunate to walk through many communities for the last 12 years. And sometimes I usually feel overwhelmed and like, maybe I should just disband everybody and just be going on my own. But just the sheer feeling that these people, at least not all, some people really depend on my presence in their business, that keeps me going. So community is a sustainability plan. That is one. Number two, community is a simple, cost-effective way for market visibility. When you write a business plan, they'll tell you go and do market feasibility. Market feasibility means go and test the market, whether they will even accept this idea or product. When you have a community, work don't finish with that. Yoruba go say, boucher, about they talk. When you have a community, you throw the idea there, and the community helps you panel beat the idea. And you're almost likely to spend ₦0 to do that. Instead of hiring a consultant that will go out in the field to do other market surveys, your community is the first place to test an idea that you have. When your community accepts an idea, it's usually a sample of a bigger market. So that is number 2. Number 3, your community are usually the people to rally around you. When Rahanatu came to speak today, she told you she came with her army of people. Did you notice the numbers were just going up? That is community for you. They are usually the first people to patronize you and support your work and give you backing and carry your work on their head. When I announced this book, members of my community bought the first 150 copies. The first 150 pre-orders were from my community at 8,500 Naira. Ask me the money I used to print the book. Definitely the pre-order money. These are just 3 ideas before I list other ideas. Other ideas are in the book, including these ones that I've talked about. We call them brand equity. We call them idea evolution. We call it sustainability plan. There are different ways in the book. In the book, there are 5 steps to building a community that I described. There are case studies described in the book: food business, technology business, real estate, local marketing, tech business, international business. There are case studies in the book. And this book was not written by me alone. It was written by myself, Kizito Chris Chidi, who is our Director of Projects and Special Projects and Partnerships in SECA Africa. And of course, the King of the North, Othman Abdul Rashid. This book is something you should get. If you want to buy this book, it's in the chat room. OBK would describe, and he has been posting how to get the book. If you are in Abuja, next Saturday, I'm hosting the first book reading. There is a tour of reading for this book. We're starting next week in Abuja, and it is going to be very beautiful. So if you're in Abuja, next Saturday, you're going to join us. If you're not in Abuja, you can join via live stream, because everybody can live stream. The only thing is that you must be on our list of buyers to have the link to join the book reading. If we don't see your name in the people that bought the book, we will say, sorry, you borrowed somebody's book, we know they give you a link. So buy your copy and possibly start reading it. If you are in Jos, I'm coming to Jos on the 24th of September for the book reading. Mr. Segun Aremu yesterday accosted me and said, why is Lagos not on the list? So he has decided to engineer Lagos. And so very soon we're going to announce a Lagos date so that we can also come to Lagos. Whatever it is, get this book, because money back guarantee, this book will help you in your business. So that is the small announcement that I've got. Check in the chat room. OBK will be posting the way to get the book, and you can be very sure to have your copy and enjoy it. Fantastic. So Jidda and Fatima, are you ready to take a shot? Are you ready to take a shot? You are our 2 contestants today. I would like you to put your videos on if you want. I would prefer that you do, because I'm going to pin your videos to the screen. They will listen to each of you concurrently, just for 1 minute. Just this 1 minute summary of all you've heard, really. It's not so hard like that. Then everybody will now vote to say, oh, is this person that is the better presenter among the 2 of them? So shall we? I'm waiting. Shall we? Or have they backed out?
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Fatima. Did I give you 2
This
people?
is Fatima speaking.
Yes. Or was the assignment too much? Not too
It
much.
was too much because I was not around for the whole 3 days. I was only available today.
Don't worry. The girls you go present today own way go catch fire. Jidda said go say no. This woman don't win. But don't worry.
Okay.
It's all good. So let's give it a
So-
shot. So
the first speaker, Coach
Yeah.
Ray, the Queen of the North, she talked about the importance of building a brand, knowing who your target customer is, knowing who your ideal customer is. When you want to run ads, you have to know whether, if you're going through an influencer, you have to know whether your ideal customers are actually on that page. She talked about business resilience and perseverance. And she talked about building a community too. Giving your customers like a little token of appreciation in order to keep them or make them happy with the brand, something like that. And she talked about sometimes putting yourself out there makes people trust you and makes your customers comfortable with your brand. Okay, the second speaker talked about the importance of mental health, especially in the society. He talks about how mental health is important for the well-being of human beings. Although we all think, because it's new to us, especially in the African countries, we feel mental health is the whole thing. But mental health is very important because it keeps you stable. If you're not stable mentally, you cannot be able to run your business successfully. You cannot be able to interact in the community successfully. So I think that's all I can say about the two speakers.
Fantastic. Thank you, Fatima. Let us hear from Jidda. Jidda, over to you. Hello, Jidda. Uh-oh. Jidda, talk now. Okay. So we don't know where Jidda is. I want to believe it's a network issue, not that she stepped down for Fatima, because I have a surprise. Someone whom I'm going to invite to speak just now sent me a DM and says he wants to add 10,000 naira to the gift for both of you. And I was already thinking that I was going to reward both of you with 5,000 naira each. So what that means is both Fatima and Jidda will get 5,000 naira each from me. And then my surprise co-giver is also going to give you both 5,000 naira each. So, hello, Jidda, are you here now? Okay, I see her network is. Jidda, we can hear you now. Can you speak?
Okay, yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, the first speaker, Ray, spoke about consistency and showing up for your brand. She talked about paying influencers, paying the right influencer for your brand. Not like now, I'm an incense vendor. I'm not going to pay somebody that sells men wares to influence my products. Nobody will buy. People that are there are just men. So men are not this Laronhuta person. And showing up for your brand to make people trust you. And the second speaker talks about mental health. Mental health is about your well-being. If you're not stable, there's no way you do business. So we all need our mental health to do business and live life well. So mental health is very, very important to everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Jidda. Thank you for your talk. So both of you decided to focus on only today's speakers. And that's fine. Okay, so let me not drag this too long. I was going to say everybody should vote, but we decided that both of you will get a reward. So like I was saying earlier, I'll give both Fatima and Jidda 5K each, and then I'm going to invite an integrative life coach, a distinguished Toastmaster, a business coach, a brand communication expert, brand identity and brand communication expert, and somebody that is constantly challenging me. I like his way of thinking, quite a very supportive friend. He is giving 10K as an additional gift to both winners. So you both are getting 5K from me, each of you, and 5K from him, each of you, making 10K. prize award for attempting these opportunities. So let me allow my friend say a word. Please welcome with me BTM Abdurrahim Oreagba. We call him the Ra. Monsa, and thank you very much.
Good morning, and good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're tuning in from the world.
Yes.
It's fantastic to be on your platform. I want to talk about communities. Oh my God, you have a way with words. So thank you for your passion, and thank you for bringing everyone together. So this seminar has been awesome. Luckily, ourselves, one of the first beneficiaries to speak on this platform. So anybody that has spoken and has taken advantage of it, use it and really well. All the speakers, fantastic, right? So anybody that has spoken on this platform, it is timeless. One major catch that most people have not gotten is this, right? It's going to be on YouTube, so it's timeless, right? It's timeless. Luckily, should I say luckily or luckily, right? Once it came up at the OSP, that's the Octopus Speakers Poll, I was one of the first people to request to speak, but I believe because of the chat and everything, it didn't come out. I said, okay, no problem, I wait for the next level.
Oh my goodness, can you imagine?
But I said, no problem. It runs for the year and his family. So thank you so much. It's also a lovely pleasure to be here. And I'll also tell you something really nice that you have done, that this coaching community has done. Coach Sam, right? Yes, the first time I decided to become a coach, because he has been telling me about it, he is the first person that encouraged me to become a coach. Oh. And when I took that decision, I'll also add one more thing. He's also the first person to pay me to speak, as a coach at the time. He didn't know this, but he was also the first person to pay me to speak as a coach. And since then, the bills, my prices have just been going up. So like I said, it's a fantastic platform, and one thing he too may not have realized is I've also launched a program, that's the exclusive mentorship program. And the 4th edition starts on the 4th of February. And a couple of members in this community are already signing up, right?
Wow. So I love that.
You say follow Who Know Road.
I love that.
Be Who Know Road, grow your brand, grow your equity, and it's just phenomenal.
Oh my
OSP
God.
family is a family. And right, I need to add this too. I was in Abuja last year, and I was with, guess, the magnificent Ray Davis.
Oh, wow. Mommy Ray.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, I was with her. I was lovely. I was just timeless. So that's being said, I just want to say thank you and just giving credence to having a fantastic community. That's basically what I'm doing, giving credence to having a fantastic community and being a part of a community. And to end up, right, I was into a podcast today that says that at times you may need to pay to have quality networks. You may need to pay to get into a community. You may need to pay to get the right people around you. Imagine if you were not here. Imagine if we were not in this community, or imagine you decided not to pay to join this community. Imagine what you would have lost. We're speaking here for free, and it's going global, right? Yes. So that being said, let me not take time so I can let the next person come in. Thank you, Sam.
You so much, Ra. Thank you so much, Ra. You're too much. God bless you, bro.
Yes.
Super awesome. Welcome. Super awesome.
Thank you so much.
What Ra just described is why the word octopus exists. That's just the summary, because people ask me, why octopus? Why octopus? What octopus? Why octopus? My idea of octopus is I am just one entity through which the other entities can emerge. I emerge from many entities emerge from other entities. So we all are just encapsulated in hydra forms. Like the catalyst, Lanre Olushola will say, he will say, we're all interconnected. We just may not be close, but we are all interconnected. Somehow, if we were to do the maths or calculation, we are all interconnected. Thank you so much, Dara. So congratulations to Jidda and congratulations to Fatima on winning 10,000 naira each. And OBK is going to do the honors of getting your account details and making sure you get your monies before midnight. Yes, Dera, your hand is up.
Yes, I wanted to add, right?
Yes,
when
sir.
I heard the pitch that they need to do the review from day 1, day 2, day 3, I just knew that no, you need to be either extremely attentive, you need to have taken notes. So I could just imagine going through the process, and I was like, no. We need to add up. We need to add up. Because any effort is a lot of effort. So congratulations to Fatima and Jida, in short, for turning up and for being selected. So congratulations. And your pitches were lovely. All right. I'll just say that was a Toastmasters pitch. 1 minute.
Yes,
table topics. Table topics, right.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you very much.
God bless. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so our next speaker is right next. I understand. I think she stepped out to pray. So we would have to, I'll just check again if she's back, because we're ready to have her speak now. So let me quickly see. She's not back yet. So maybe what we'll do is we'll give her till 7:15, after which we may have to just wind down because we need to really move forward. So while we do so, I think we can just give some people the chance to tell us what has this weekend been for you, really. Some of you, this is the first time, especially first timers. If this is your first time joining any SECA Africa event or OSP event, we'll be glad to hear from you. Let's hear what has this weekend been, this encounter you've had with us. And it would be nice to unmute yourself so we can hear you speak to us. But that would be really nice. So let's hear from you. What has this weekend been for you, really? Tell us. Anyone? Yes, Arewa Foods and Drinks. I see your mic is open. Do you want to speak?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Please, let's go.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is my first time. And I can even say today is my first time joining, and it was amazing. I really I love everything, like from our first course, Rahana, and this the one that talked about mental health. I love everything. I was so happy. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you.
We are grateful that you trusted
Thank you so much,
us.
sir.
We're grateful you trusted us with your time. Thank you very much.
I really don't want to move and eat from the phone because I'm really enjoying every bit of it.
Awesome. Mommy Ray, let's hear you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma.
Friday, Saturday, I was in and out, but today I've been glued to my phone.
Awesome.
Tirarambuta by Ray and I were in the same group during the strategy training
course.
Yes, and I realized that's a very smart young lady. And I listened to her today. I picked so many nuggets that, coming from someone so young and not having been in business for like forever, that was really very good. And I think we should go back, listen to her again and take home a lot of things. After this, I'm going to get in touch with her for some collaboration. Feyi was right on point because at some point I was asking myself, was she actually talking about, mental health? Then towards the end, the way she now merged everything together, and I saw mental health from a very, bigger or broader spectrum. So thank you so much for putting this together.
Mommy Ray, thank you so much for always being there. Thank you for always being there. Awesome. The next hand I saw was Imalbong. Imalbong, you have the floor. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Imabong Gladipo Sanusi.
Good to have you, Imabong.
A therapist and the Executive Director of Women Trafficking and Child Labor Eradication Foundation. I rehabilitate and reintegrate traffic victims and sexually and gender-based violence victims. Actually, I got this referral from a friend in the UK. One of your programs. She said, "Oh, Imabong, I know you like this mental health, but I've not been able to attend." But one of the things I want to appreciate the convener for is his tenacity and consistency in sharing information. So when I saw this, my table is always full. You know, when you're doing things with victims of human trafficking, it is something that you have to do real. Sometimes you can't, like, no distractions, using a phone, those things. They exist a lot because we have a shelter where we have 30 victims being rehabilitated currently and always. So when he shared this information, I said, okay, let me try. It was rich. Wow. I really appreciated it. I listened to DK. I think I joined a bit late. And then I private chatted, you said I'll be going offline. When I go offline, I'm doing other things. And then when Coach Akanimo came yesterday, empathy, I said, this is it. This is what we need to know. And then Ray today, wow. So, her story, I love, is real because she talked about her strength. She talked about her mistake. She talked about all her experiences without hiding anything. She's so real. So real, you're real. And then there came the mental health specialist. In 1995, when I went to study psychology at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, they were saying, what do you want to do with this course? For me, it was even like something I should just hide away and go and do other courses. But now I realize, like you said, the convener said that the mental health space is so large and we really need to keep amplifying our voices. So I'm happy that I'm here. I'm happy I came. So thank you. I think this is a very beautiful community and space to belong to. I'm grateful. Thank you
so much. Thank you so much, Imabong. Thank you. I'm going to take just two more people. I see the hands are popping up now. So only the 3 hands up now are the only people that we talk. Thank you in advance. So the next hand that came up was iPhone. I wish we had your name, but it's iPhone that is there. So please, you may speak. Let us know who you are. Thank you. Hello, iPhone.
Hello. Hello,
Hi.
yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes, my name is Rashida Adili.
Hi, Rashida.
Yes, I'm an upcoming baker. Actually, I got referral to come to this platform today from Ray Business Lab Group. And yes, my improvements that I'm able to get this week is from mental health issue. I've been battling with mental health issue that I had seizure a few years back, like 10 years back. That's when it started. I've been under medication since then. And currently I'm on therapy at Cedar Crest Hospital. So actually the therapy is all about me to get to continue my life as I used to do before, because I used to have this kind of seizure that whenever I'm in an activity like this, like standing up, I'll just collapse and fall. So I really got motivation from the Queen of the North. Yes, she is really a queen from the North. Yes, I got motivation from her to whatever I want to do, I should do it immediately. And one of the things that my therapist has been helping me to do is just to go back with my normal life, especially to just believe that I can drive, because I was scared to operate any machinery that I can get myself to be harmed. So I was able to come out of that shelf within the week to this time. Alhamdulillah, I'm better. And I'm glad that I'm able to come here and get more knowledge from all of you. Thank you very much. Yes, that is it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rashida, I want everyone to go to the chat room and send a clap emoji. Let's warm up the room as we celebrate Rashida for this very vulnerable conversation. Thank you so much, Rashida.
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm grateful to
very
be with you all.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
We embrace you with love. We're sending you warm hugs. We're sending you prayers.
Thank you.
Your body will respond to treatment. Your mind will respond to treatment. You're going to come out very strong and well. And we as a community, we are very open to improving your support and giving you as much support as possible. Well done.
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm grateful too.
Fantastic. Awesome. Okay, the next and only hand I can see still standing is Nancy. So Nancy, you have the floor. That will most likely be our last. Okay, Rabi has raised her hand. Okay, so Nancy, you can speak then. Rabi will be the last hand because those were the only two hands that were up before. So Rabi and Nancy, you may speak now.
Okay. Greetings, Coach Sam, and every other person in the room.
Greetings.
I am so elated to be in this community. You know, it was just by, would I say by luck or by chance, just scrolling through the social media late last year, and then I just saw one OSP, and it's just as if this was what I was actually looking for. Right. You know, it's something to just be alone. Especially when you have people around you do not really resonate with you, or you are not, you know. So it has been my issue. The people I have around me are not the people that can relate with. So I was looking I was in search for a community, and then I just saw it, boom. I was like, what? So something like this has been here. And then I quickly, in fact, that's at that point, and it was as if it was the last call for the, I think, a day to the close or something like that. And that was the first day I'm seeing that. Honestly, when I came in, it was nothing. It was not short of what I expected. Honestly, I'm happy at the quality. In fact, it was from these teachings I saw the quality of teachings, and I am wow. So I'm just like that Elijah that said he was the only one in he's the only one in there that has not bowed down. Sorry, I'm just liking it. So
it's okay.
So we have great heads like this. Where I am? Where am I? Where was I? You know, so I'm so happy. I've learned a lot, even in public speaking. I've learned. I've heard from seasoned speakers, and I'm wow. And I've a whole lot. Today I joined quite late because I had a church program, but throughout yesterday and the first day I was glued to my phone, and then I'm already jotting down some things or some strategies to just move forward. So I'm so happy to be. OSP is a miracle and is a answered prayer.
Right. Thank you so much, Nancy. Very, very vibrant and one day I hope to meet you soon, because sometimes I'm just imagining when I meet you finally.
Oh, I'm in Abuja. I'm coming for the reading, what they call it, on Saturday. Okay. I'll be there. I
look forward to seeing you. God keeping us.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Before I bring on Madam Hajia Rabi to speak, I just want to say, if you want to be a certified mental health first aider, you have an opportunity to register for our March certification class. We have certifications twice a year, levels 1 to 3. Levels 1 to 3, we hold in March 2024 and in October 2024. So if you want to register to be a certified mental health first aider for yourself, to improve your mental health competencies, to provide support as a mental health first aider, please, you have to indicate interest and register immediately. It has just been posted in the chat room. You will see a number there. Copy the number, chat them up, ask them, what is level 1? Let them break it down. What is level 2? They will break it down. What is level 3? They will break it down. You can register for either. You can register for all. You can register for, but you have to register for level 1. That one is mandatory. You cannot do level 2. You cannot do level 3 without doing level 1. But we strongly recommend this season, like I usually like to say, and Dr. Okonoda used to endorse it. I used to say, mental health is not a medical problem, it's a social problem. And that's why if you heard from Nurse Feishayo, she equally said, people that have a strong family support system, they cope better with mental health. It's usually a social challenge. When you are not able to cope with a lot of things happening with you, you have a breakdown that now leads to medical complications. So we strongly recommend that everybody can be better equipped with mental health knowledge. And that is why we're encouraging you to register for the certification. So send message to that number. Dr. Okonoda.
Coach Sam, me, I will be weary about your theory. Mental health as what we call biopsychosocial model. There is the biological part, there is the social part, and the psychological part. So if you are strong on the social part, you wouldn't now come out and say that it's not a medical thing. No. It encompasses. That's why you will see, even from my presentation and from what Feisha said today, that it has all the components.
Yes.
But those of you who are not trained medically, of course, your bias will be that me, I've seen is what I've been doing since 2006. So I have seen enough, but we know that unless you use the biopsychosocial model of approach to it, the treatment and all those things. That's why yesterday I was talking about, yesterday I just took tidbits of everything.
Yes.
But the recovery model where you look at every aspect of the individual's life, including career, including every aspect of the person's life. So it has a strong basis. In fact, in the past, they used to look at psychiatrists as if we are not doctors. That's the medical people. But right now, everything is represented on the brain there. So for you to say it's not a medical problem, I think you mean to say that, okay, there are many other factors that are there. And that's why you see that, like me now, I'm an addiction, social and rehabilitation psychiatrist. I'm not so fascinated by the biology of things because that's what I've done all my life. It is social and psychological areas, these other areas that makes for complete wholeness, but you cannot take away the foundation. Mental health issues have its roots. The genetics and all those things make for more than 50% of causation of mental illness. All right. I just needed to correct that so that people will not go away with that mentality. It's all right. Thank you very much, Kosam.
Okay. I was listening to Dr. Okonoda and then my system just went off. Thank you, Dr. Okonoda, for your feedback. I was just trying to promote that course. But thank you for the contribution to that. Thank you, sir. Okay. So I think we'll just go straight up to Haji Arabi. Please, let's take your feedback. I hope that Bashirat is back in the room now because we really have to wrap up immediately after this. So Haji Arabi, let's hear from you. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. And thank you very much, Coach, for this platform. Yeah, for me, it is an interesting one. I've been following you, even though I've not been consistent since Friday, but I went through the recordings for Friday. I haven't done for yesterday. But for today, I've been here since 5 on the dot. And though I kept going off, I went to YouTube I just came back because I wanted to add my own feedback and to say thank you and thank you, appreciate this. I will start with the mental aspects and to say that it cannot be overemphasized as a business person and from wherever perspective you look at it. For me, as a business person, I think mental aspects, I would like to have a very good understanding and a good emotional balance for what I do as a mother, as a, you know, as a daughter to parents, as to my own spouse. How do I come along? Because, you know, business, this makes your head roller coaster of emotions on how to deal with so many things. You are in this space, all of a sudden you just have to, in your brain, become a manager, or in a brain you are an administrator, in your brain you are a mother, like that. So sometimes within an hour, me, I'll be like, I'm tired. Nobody should talk to me if I come back from my shop. I need like some time. Nobody should talk to me. But that is, the whole point is to try to understand yourself and to see how you will bring in the very good and, you know, merge everything to bring out the best in all. For the Northern Queen, I can so much appreciate her. All what she said resonated with me because I am from the northern part of the world, and for women in business, I can so much relate with what she has mentioned. I can so much understand from where she's coming from, and to be sincere, I want to be like her when I grow up. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I am that person that comes in with whatever I do, I try to give it my best. And at some point you'll be like, what is happening? You are doing business, and every day you're putting in so much money, and I'll be like, I have so much tied up, but I've invested so much. At some point is you've invested so much, but it's not, you would not really like seeing the impact. But all of a sudden, within maybe in an hour, you see some people that is not just the financial aspect. You see somebody that will tell you that, wow, like for me in my own field, I don't know other people's business. For me, I get this a lot. Like people will just see me and say, you are a Hajia, a Hausa woman with a bookshop. I'm surprised. So, and then you see like some, in most cases, if that person is also from the north, you inspire her. You inspire people to do so. So for that is a very, very big positive for me. I feel good about that. And I can imagine for my kids, for people that relate with me, I can imagine if I can continue doing what I'm doing well to encourage people, that is one of the benefits of what I want to do. And that will be one of the profits, even if but then, so what I'm trying to say is that this platform, you cannot be overemphasized. And still, back to the northern part, we don't give so much to education, like enlightening ourselves. We find it difficult even to pay for services like this. We find it difficult to understand that you cannot be the same person from last year, no matter how well talented you are. If you don't keep as in if polishing that talent, it will go. You know, times change, generations, you know, things like that. So I'm just saying to encourage every one of us, irrespective of where you are, that the more you keep giving, the better you will come out from the other side. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you so very much, Hajia Rabi. Thank you so much. I want to shout out to some people who joined us on YouTube. I can see Amadou Rabi. I can see Khadija Aliyu. I can see Kofo, Roland, Jola, and then, of course, Kizito is on YouTube too. Thanks to everyone. It's quite a long list. I can't call everyone. Thank you for following on YouTube. YouTube has been streaming for the last 2 hours for day 3. Don't forget that we streamed day 1, day 2, and day 3. They are all on YouTube. In the chat room, I've posted our 2024 calendar. Just check it out. Find the course you want to do. If you want to be a certified life coach, you can be a certified life coach at SECA Africa. If you want to be a certified mental mental health first aider, SECA Africa can assist you to do so. If you want to be a certified emotional intelligence and anger management specialist, SECA Africa can help you achieve that. If you want to be part of our strategy, operations, processes, and execution masterclasses, we have a masterclass called Strategy, Operations, Processes, and Execution, SOPE. If you want to be a part of that masterclass, it is also on the timetable. So you need to just check the calendar. Make sure you talk to the office. If you want to commit your slot by paying a deposit, don't delay at all. This year, no grief for anybody. No grief for yourself. Don't grieve for your laziness. Don't grieve for your reluctance. Don't grieve for your self-sabotage. Don't grieve for the imposter syndrome. Don't agree for I don't have money. Don't agree for it's not time for me now. Don't agree for I'm afraid whether I will use it. Don't agree for if I pay, will I get value? You can get value from anything if you commit to it and you demand what you want. So download that calendar, make a commitment. I want to see you in class. Most of the people you have heard today that are contributors, some of them are our facilitators, and you will meet them in class and we will build capacity all together for you. So our last speaker had asked to step out and he hasn't returned. So I really don't think I can keep us going until when she comes back, since we don't know when she will. So at this point, we're going to draw the curtain as we plan for February Pan-African webinar. The dates for February Pan-African webinar, let me tell you now so that you can start preparing for it. The date for February Pan-African webinar is 23rd, 24th, and 25th. 23rd, 24th, and 25th are February Pan-African webinar days. If you want to, if you know you are going to be in that date, God keeping us alive and healthy, type I'm coming. Type it in the chat room. I want to see those of you that are coming for February. And I want you to mark your calendar now. February 23rd, 24th, and 25th are going to be February Pan-African webinar days. You cannot not come. On this note, I want to specially thank our speakers from Friday night till this moment. Thank you for giving us your time, your value, your support, and everything that you threw into this. We don't take it for granted. To all that participated, those that burnt their data, their time, spent their hours with us online for the last 3 days, thank you very much. We also don't take that for granted. To my team, my staff that are working around the clock to make this happen, despite how hard I can come and how I can be very perfectionist, thank you. Thank you, my guys, for making this happen. Specifically, OBK, thank you for the schedule. Thank you for the planning. Thank you for the engagement. Specifically, Tunde Rema, Kizito, Nanyu, Korede, and of course, their boss, Stella Onwoche. Thank you very much for leading the team. And to myself, thank you for agreeing to organize this event and making it happen. Now, our speaker just tried to join. And I was already doing thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Coach Bashirat.
Hey, boss.
I was already doing thank you to everybody that we are going.
Oh my God. I had 8:10 on my mind. I don't know how it is that my session is happening earlier. So I planned everything to be here. So in the next 10 minutes, and just sit pretty until I saw OBK's call. Oh my goodness. So I'm so sorry.
So, okay, I think we should take your session because I didn't want us to keep all. Should we move yours to February?
No, I am ready.
You're ready? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we had this with Dr. Okonoda. He had to start earlier. We had to take him back to his regular programming. I guess these things happen. So
yeah, because I had 8:10 in my mind. So yeah.
So that's fine. So we're going to take your session now then. And once you're done, we're going to close the session immediately. So Coach Bashirat is Governor Life Coaches of SECA Africa. She's a grief expert, she's a crowdfunding expert, and tonight we have the privilege of hearing her speak to us on her topic. So Coach Bashirat, let's take your talk. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you doing? My name is Coach Beshi. As I have already been introduced, I actually wear so many hats. And just about 1 hour ago, I realized that I might be ditching my slides because I feel like the slide is so limited and I might not be able to do justice to what I have in mind to talk about today. So what do I want to talk about? I wanted to talk to all of you about how you can sell your story. But I'm going to talk to you about all of that in line with all the work that I do. I'm going to find a way to tie it to all the work that I do as a grief recovery therapist, as a life transition coach, as a multiple time published author, as a crowdfunding specialist, as a humanitarian, among other things, right? So thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Chris Sam, and thank you, SECA Africa and OSP. First things first, everybody has a story, and oftentimes there are one of two ways by which we can all use our stories. It's either we can use our stories or whatever challenge that we have or had gone through as a stepping stone, or we can use it as an obstacle. Whatever it is, we can see it either as a stepping stone or as an obstacle. Now, I'm going to take you through a little bit of my journey. I don't know, these days, I don't like to share too much of my story because it ends up being like about me, but I really don't like to make the whole thing about me because I want you to be able to, put yourself in the picture of whatever it is I'm talking about. But again, how would you relate to whatever it is that I want to tell you if I do not lay bare a little bit of what I have been through, right? For those of you that already know me, you know that some time ago in 2015, I lost my first spouse to a cardiac arrest in Milan, mysteriously. Up to today, I have so many questions that I do not have answers to, that I have come to accept that I may never get answer to. Maybe on the day of judgment, I'm going to understand, finally get answers to all of these things. But I've made peace with the fact that I do not have those answers. What you need to do when you have a story is you need to come to a place of acceptance, which is what I did. Have you accepted your life as it is? Because until you are able to accept your life as it is, you would not be able to do anything about it. So now, what's your story? And that's just a tip of an iceberg of my own story, because after that, I would go on to lose my father 3 months later and experience so many other losses and became severely traumatized and depressed and all of that. But there is one thing that I chose not to do. I chose not to play pity party. There was not, oh, please help me. There was no, or trying to be miserable, because again, that is what people want to see you be. They want you to look miserable. In short, they want you to dress miserable, look miserable, feel miserable, and just be an embodiment of misery because something like that or life happened to you. But I chose I was not going to be miserable. And at some point, I need the lights. And at some point, when I realized that I could empower myself and that I could empower other people so they don't have to feel pity for whatever trials that life threw at them, that was a turning point for me. When I realized that I could sell my story in a way that was inspiring to other people, that I could sell my story in a way that I could sell my story Okay. That I could share my story in a way that I could get more done. I could make a greater impact without having to be looked upon as someone who is trying to beg for favors, who is trying to beg for money, who is trying to beg for, okay, please help me now, please, I need to do this, or please, I need to do that. That was the turning point for me. Now, how did I start, right? Coming to a point of acceptance, I said, of course, understanding, because what acceptance helps you to do is helps you to realize, okay, this is my situation now. Also, but it helps you to also realize that you can do something about the situation, meaning that you want to seek help. You want to actively reach out for help. There is no acceptance without trying to actively reach out for help. But again, what it does to you is that it takes away that denial part, right? The denial is no longer there, because when you've come to a place of acceptance, then you're no longer denying the situation or the reality of whatever it is that you're going through or that you've experienced. So you need to accept, you need to own up, not just to trying to blame life for everything, but also, own up to whatever part it is that you have played yourself. But also, you also need to come to realize that you need to actively play your own role in your healing. So your healing, henceforth, is a decision from that point on. When you have accepted whatever the situation is, whether either you have lost a spouse, or you've lost a child, or you've lost your job, or you've been betrayed, or you've been defrauded, or you have whatever that you went through, or you divorced, or whatever it is, whatever blows the life dealt you, it is so important that you actively seek help. Right. So is everyone with me? If you're with me, let me know in the comments. So number one, you need to own your story. What's your story? I think a lot of people today see, I've gone through so much, they say I've gone through shaggy romance in my life. And I know I can for sure tell you that there was a time in my life where it was more like everyone was waiting to see how messed up my life was going to turn out to be. And when I realized, no, I'm not going to be that person or be seen as that kind of person, my life changed. But I can tell you for a fact that although I have gone through all of those things, there are times when, of course, I'm broken by the way that people expect me to be. People expect me to live how they expect me to look, even what they expect me to wear, and whether I should be going out or not, right? So these are the issues and these are the things you need to bring to mind. But most importantly, what do? You own your story. I've said it. See, I've gone through so much, and you can't survive the dark sides of my life. You can't rub it on my face. You cannot. Why? Because I own you so much that when I'm even talking about it, I'm smiling. So you cannot use it to insult me. You cannot say, you're a bad woman child. Oh my God, it's not possible. I'm the wrong person, right? I'm the wrong person. And I think it is so important that we come to that reality, we come to that acceptance. So you need to own your story, and you need to own it so well. Not in a way that puts you at the mercy of other people, but in a way that empowers you and also helps you to empower other people. Right. Now, when you own your story, what do you do with that story? Now, I'll give you an example. In 2017, I decided I was going to write a short memoir about all of my losses that I've experienced. If you're here and you have heard about my book From Pain to Purpose, or you've read it or whatever, please let me know in the comments. Thank you. But I decided I was going to write a short memoir about my life experience, not my life experience, but the losses that I had experienced and all the lessons that I learned from those losses. Now, from so many people that have read that book, they feel like, I know Bachelier from Pali to Pali. No, you don't. I'm sorry, but you only know a part, and that's the part that I chose to share, my losses, and how I overcame, all of that, my experiences, the lessons, and all of that I took away from that. So yes, I decided I was going to write a story. And I remember I was putting a story, I had so many titles in my head. I had so many doubts as well. I kept hiding the manuscript in my laptop. And each time I felt like it was ready to go to publishers, I tell myself, no, Bishop, you're not ready. Maybe the book is ready, but you are not ready, right? I wasn't ready because I felt like who's going to read the story of one young miserable widow like that, and all of that, But when I decided that I was going to publish that story, again, I needed to check with my intention, right? As a Muslim, for me, whatever I do, I'm thinking of my intention. Okay, are you doing this in order to, why exactly do you want this out there? So I needed to really fix my intention, because if I did not fix my intention for doing that, it's possible that, the book, I don't know whatever would have happened with it. I don't know. But I know that I had a lot of worries about what my in-laws were going to think. I had a lot of worries about what people were going to think. I had a lot of worries about whether people were going to read my story or not, or whether anybody would even care to pay a dime for the book. But I did what? I slayed the dragon. I went ahead and I published that book, 1,000 copies. When we published 1,000 copies of the book From Pain to Purpose,
You're mute, Bashirat. Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you. So we published 1,000 copies. The books arrived, my publisher brought it out. I also grabbed the copies that were already pre-ordered, and then I was left with about 900 and a bit of the book. And reality dawned on me, and I thought, okay, so what are you going to do with over 900 copies of book? That's when I realized that there's a difference between wanting to write, publish and all of that. It's okay, you have a story, it's amazing, it's going to inspire a lot of people. You're going to learn so much. There is a lot of lesson that you want to share with the world, but there is also the business part of it. You also need to know, how do you want to strategically get it in the faces of people? Where on the shelves, on people's shelves, how do you want to actively get it to the people who need to read it? Now, I'll tell you another bit for sure. It was a shocker to me, again, realizing, so this is what I'm talking about, okay, it was a shocker to me, again, because when I read the book, most family members were willing to pay for the book, right? Because, of course, why should they? What story do you want to tell us? We know your story. She gets. Now, that's another shocker, because you would realize, okay, you have something amazing. And this is not just about whether you have written a book or you want to write a book. It is also about whether you have something that you're doing and you feel like your family members should want to, support you by paying for your service, paying for your products and all of that. But sometimes they might not be the right people that need it. So again, you need to come to the realization, or come to terms with that fact that the people that you need to serve are different from the people that you think you want to serve, or the people that you think you should be serving. Now, identifying that is so important, because those are the people you need to sell your stories to. For me, my story would resonate with anybody who has experienced a divorce, who has experienced any form of loss, who has experienced, some kind of trauma in the past, maybe related to childhood or adverse childhood experience, all of those things. Those are the kind of people, right? But majority of the people in my family have not experienced spousal loss. So how do I expect them to kind of relate? Or, they don't, it's not important to them. They're not really interested. They might give me a thumbs up and say, oh, Beshi, well done, we're so proud of you and all of that. I think you're doing great, we've seen your work and all of that. But they might not take out a penny to read the book. So know the people you're called to serve, right? And this is not just about book, like I said earlier. It's not just about writing a story. It's also about whatever it is that you're doing, right? Identify the people that you're called to serve and actively serve them. So the book came, I realized, okay, I needed to actively market my book, and I got to work. And I don't know. I had to tell my son to go and look for this copy somewhere that I kept it, because I have just very few copies that I am hoarding, because we are sold out of the book. We have been since sold out, and we only have e-copies available. It's on my seller storefront in case you want to have a read. But I have since gone on to publish series of other books, which I'm also going to share some bit of part with you. As I said earlier, I'm trying to tie this to all the work that I do. First, as a grief recovery counselor, author, life coach, humanitarian and crowdfunding specialist. Now, how have I again tied, my story, selling my story, sharing my story with all the other work that I do? I suddenly realized that there was a gap to be filled. And I remember, Coach Sam, I don't know if you remember, well, I sure certainly remember in 2016 where there was a Speak Out initiative, and that was the first time I met Coach Sam. So it's been that long since I knew Coach Sam. And that was, I think, the first time I got to actively share, like personally decided I wanted to share my story. And that was already maybe 1 year plus after I had gone through my major losses. And I remember so well that, sharing that story was a lot for me, because I realized, okay, I could own on to my story. And so from there, I realized I needed more help. I was already getting therapy, but I realized I needed more help, and I started to get more help. I got into a lot of training with SOPCA, now Circa Africa. I got into a lot of training with some other international organizations and got a series of trainings, diplomas, and certifications. Again, because I realized that if I wanted to be able to help people, my story is not enough. Now, I know there are so many people out there now that are bearing the title of life coach, marriage counselor, divorce coach, something. There's this title. It's more like a fancy word. And sometimes, calling myself a life coach, I just used to wonder, because I feel like there's so many life coaches, and I'm wondering who is trained and who is not trained, who is certified and who is not certified, who really knows how to do it and who doesn't know how to do it. We don't know until, of course, where you display your skills. But again, your story is not enough. So if you're deciding that you've owned your story, you've accepted it, you're doing something about it, you're getting help, and then you decide that I want to move from there and I want to inspire other people, I want to help people, I see a gap. This experience that I've been through, people need help to go through it. I have seen that behind me are a series of people who are actually going through the same thing, and they do not know where to turn to for help. Because when I was grieving, I was looking for people around here, that say grief therapists or grief counselors, and I couldn't really find. So I had to make do with a general therapist, right? Again, that better, actively going to seek knowledge, to get trained, to be able to help people in grief and people that have experienced a series of losses. So your story is not enough. And don't deceive yourself, because there are several parts to these things. There's a business part, but most importantly, there is the ethical part. I remember when I got into life coaching training, was when I realized that there are ethics. There are ethics. There is a way, there is a modus operandi. So I cannot just be rubbing my story on everybody's face and saying, okay, when I tell them my story, it's going to inspire them. And once it inspires them, or they are going to say, oh, wow, you're such a strong and courageous woman. And as a result of that, their own personal challenges with which they have come to get help from me would vanish. No, it wouldn't. There are a series of times I receive with people who are like, they mirror me, like, I don't know, like what else they have gone through a series of similar experiences, and I'm just looking at myself. Now imagine that I have not done the work on myself. It means that them just sitting and narrating the experiences to me in the first pre-coaching or onboarding session would mean that it will trigger me. And when it triggers me, it would also mean that I would not be able to help them the way that I ought to. So your story is not enough. And if you truly have any story, any experience, any life lesson or major life lesson, anything that you feel that when you can help people about it, you can teach people about it, you can talk to people about it, you can train people about it, you can coach or counsel people on it and about it, then aside out of your story, and leave your story, pack it one side. Please go and get professional training. Go and get trained. Go and learn, you know, how to do it the proper way, so that you don't end up messing up people's lives because you feel like because you decide to label yourself as, you know, a coach, a life coach, or whatever. So yeah. So that was my, thank you so much, Kizito. I'm liking the sponge lines, and I hope I can get them for myself too. So, you know, your story is not enough. Now, when you now decide you want to do so many other things, like what I do as, you know, an author, and also helping people to sell their stories, again, your story is not enough. Again, you need to show people what you have done, right? I have written a series of books, but I remember that after publishing From Pain to Purpose, I had a lot of people asking me, how is it that you're able to share your story? Like, you know, you didn't flinch or what, you know, people think it looked so easy. It looked so easy to people. But it's not that it was so easy, but again, it's possible. It was doable. I did it. So because I did it, it's possible. So I started to show a lot of people how they could. And I remember, I don't know if TR Tunde Rema is here. Those were the first few people that helped me with the Sorry Story Masterclass. We had it in Abuja, severally we had in Lagos and all of that. But it was such a transforming experience, not just for the people that I was trying to help, but also for myself. Because by the time I was done teaching a series of online classes, Jumpstart Your ebook, Jumpstart Your books, I did so many free stuff. And I realized, okay, maybe I should put it together. By the time I looked through all the whatever that I have teaching people seriously, you know, days when WhatsApp classes was still a thing. If anybody invites me to teach a WhatsApp class, I run these days like, I am sorry, that thing is stressful. I do not teach WhatsApp classes. I cannot, it's too stressful. So, but then it was the in thing, and we survived teaching WhatsApp classes. But I read this book. So there is a book in my head. And this book, for me, I think I wrote it, I don't know. I just buried my head in it, and I was done in 1 month. In the next month, you know, the design, you know, everything. I don't know if you can see very well. You see that it is embossed. You see that there's a way that even the help is written, you know, and all of that. So I'm showing you these things because I feel like if there is someone here who wants to write a book, you know, or you have a manuscript that you need to dust off and do something about it, or you have a story that you need to write about, I'm sharing this with you, that yes, it is possible in case you have that. But I put it together, all the experience, whatever, and I put it in the book and I publish it. And of course, you know, we sold very well from that book. And I've since gone on to write Dispossessed and wrote, you know, the Green Book of Forgiveness, you know, several ebooks as well. But, you know, those are the ones that are published in paperbacks and they are available on my seller storefront. But if you're here, again, tying it to the work that I did, and you want to write a book, there's so many things you need to consider. First, you're writing for who? Where are they? How do you reach them? What's your demography? And what is it that they need? You know, what is it that, and you know, just like when they say you have a business idea, and I remember one of the speakers talked about how you need to sell, I think it was Ben Wayo, Dr. Ben Wayo, and he said how it is important for you to, you know, when you have to sell to people, you need to sell something that kind of helps them, either take them away from their pain, you know, ease their pain or their burden, or, you know, takes them closer to what they desire or something that they have pleasure for, something like that. But whatever it is that you decide to write, do not play with certain things. Number one, ensure that you make a decision. If this story is going to be about you, you make a decision what part of your story you want to put out there, right? OBK, please, I don't know. How much time do I have left? Thank you. Make a decision that this is the part of the story that I want to put out there. It is so important that you make that decision because it's your story. And because it's your story, you want to own it. But again, you can choose, this is what I want to share and this is what I do not want to share. Like I said, the parts, what I have shared in From Pain to Purpose is what I decided to share. What I wanted to let people know. What I was ready to be vulnerable with. I did not share everything. The same thing as, thank you, Obike, the same thing with every other book that I have gone to write. So you have to make the decision. What am I comfortable sharing? How do I want to pass this message in a way that it can help people, not just to inspire them, not just, oh, wow, she's just a strong woman, oh, she's such an amazing person, oh, he is such a brave, courageous human, but also so that you can move them to action. They can do something for themselves as a result of that. They can make a decision for their lives that is going to change their life as a result of that. So make that decision, right? Again, you don't want to play with, of course, the quality of your print, how you decide you want to market your book, where you want to put your book on, the type, the medium, not just the medium, again, the type of publishing. Do you want to self-publish? With what company? Do you have the funding? How would you raise the money? But most importantly, how will you get the book out there? But again, you also don't want to play around with things like, they say this thing, like, don't judge a book by its cover. Many people judge a book by its cover. Because some time ago, I was in a bookshop and some guy saw this book and he was like, why is this book so light like this? And it's 7,000 naira. That wasn't my book he was referring to anyway, but somebody else's book, whom I do not know. And I said, oh, but you do not judge a book by whether it's bulky or it's, you judge by the quality of content, and all of that. And you don't know the person's cost of production. You cannot decide for the person, oh, this book should not be more than 1,500 now. It's like saying Kosam's book, marketing without a budget is too expensive. Why is it 10,000 naira? Why that book is not supposed to be more than 5,000 naira now? But Kosam knows the quality of content. And for the people who have read it, they also understand the quality of the content in the book. And as a result of that, it also comes to determine the price. So again, you need to work on the quality of your work, not just quality of content, of course, quality of packaging, because again, it's the cover that calls people in. You want to work on what the color is, what the images is, what they speak about, how, the site, you really want to work on the psychology of people, and you want to be very, very intentional. Again, if you have a story that you want to write, if you need help with that, you might want to reach out. So last thing I'm going to share is that, having said all of this, who do you become at the end of the day? You want to, whoever it is that you're choosing to become, make sure that you're truly aligning these, your value, your spirituality, your core, you want to really understand, who am I, but most importantly, I want you to also know that regardless of what it is that you've been through, I don't know what your stories are, but I know that all of you have stories, the sweet ones and the not so sweet and the bitter ones. And whatever it is, it is so important that you come to terms with the realities of your story, the reality of who you are. It is also so important that, you actively seek help for yourself, go out there, so many ways you can get help these days, and it's become so easy with the internet. You can jump on a call with a coach, a therapist, it's like anywhere in the world, wherever that you are. There are so many amazing books out there that you can read to improve yourself, to help yourself, self-help books, right? There are so many things that you can do, but again, you need to do something, and you need to do it now. You need to do it for yourself, but most importantly, you need to do it for other people, because there's so many other people who are waiting to see what and who you would become. And so they would be able to say, because Bashira did it, I can do it too. Bashir didn't give up, I'm not giving up. So I wish you all of the best in all of your endeavors. I don't know what stories you have. I don't know how you're planning to sell them, whether you want to write a book, or you want to become a professional in something, or you want to grow into something, or you want to inspire people, or you want to speak to people about it, or you want to write about it, or you want to train about it, or you want to help people. There are people who have gone through very rough background, and they want to be able to help people as humanitarians and all of that. Again, part of the work that I do as a crowdfunding specialist. But I know that I've run out of time now, and so I'm just going to stop right here. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that I did not confuse you because there were so many hearts. Thank you so much. I think now we can take the Q&A era.
Thank you, Bashi. That was very awesome. Thank you for taking time to dissect. Somehow you weave through the different things that you do, and thank you for making it very simply presented. Well done. So guys, you have Bashirat now. Do you want to ask your questions? Please, let's throw in the questions. Kizito, you have been very kind with posting the summaries of each speaker. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you very much. So guys, we have the next few minutes so we can wrap up. Hopefully we can wrap up 8:15, 8:20 latest. So let's throw in the questions. If you have a question for Bashirat. Bashirat, I think they should have your contact details. If you can just share that in the chat room so that anyone who wants to reach you for crowdfunding ideas or book publishing ideas or how to be a grief counselor or how to practice, empathy, all those things that you do so that they can reach you. Thank you so very much. So ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very long weekend. It's been a very long weekend. I need to also once just mention that in February, we won't be holding the Sunday session this late because the original plan is meant to start earlier. We don't think it's a fantastic idea to keep participants up late into Sunday when Monday is a work day. So this is me saying that by February, the timing will be a little bit adjusted. We're going to start around same time on Friday. We'll resume a little later on Saturday. Yesterday, we started at 8 a.m. I was up as at 6 a.m. That was too much. So next month, we're going to start a bit later, maybe 9 a.m., and run, or maybe 10 a.m. really, and run. Then Sunday, we're going to start much earlier. And I'm talking West African time here. So Sunday next month and other months, we'll be doing maybe around 2 or 3 p.m. West African time so that we can wrap up 5 or 6 p.m. West African time. We want to be sure that by 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. on Sunday, we're done with the Pan-African webinars so that the rest of the evening, people can refresh, rest, sleep well, and resume work on Monday. We don't want you to attend Seka Africa and say, on Monday, you are groggy and slow, and you're saying, these Seka Africa people, Kai, then you will now not attend the next month. We don't want that. So kindly, with sincere apologies if this has dragged for too long, but I am glad we delivered value in a lot of ways. And this has been absolutely at no cost to you. So we just want you to tell someone about this. There are 3 Zoom YouTube links. There is a day 1 link, there's a day 2 link, there's a day 3 link. But if you go to the YouTube page, you will see all the links. So kindly tell someone to visit the links. The real goal, like Abdul Rahim Oreagba said, the YouTube links are timeless. They will be there for as long as possible. So the real deal is to get people to go watch those links and learn from all our speakers so that we all can collectively grow. I have said all the thank yous before, and I just want to say, God bless you. This week is rich for you. As we enter February from this week, February will be richer than January. February will be more peaceful than January. In February, dollar rate and pound rate and euro rate, by God's grace, maybe they go even slow down small. Maybe they just be coming down. Let them be coming down in February, God willing, and everything. So I wish you all the best. Your family life, your personal life, your health, your business, everything is going well. Everything is turning out right. Have a beautiful week and a beautiful month. See you next Saturday if you're coming for my book reading. If you have not bought my book, buy this book now so that my prayer can become more personal for you. I have a list of buyers that I'm praying for, like, God, this person, his name is Sam Obafi. He bought my book. Bless him for me this week. His prayer is a person right now, so don't joke. So let's do it.
It's alright to me to mic so that I could laugh.
God bless you, everybody. Have a beautiful week and take care of yourselves. Fantastic.